This is the URT. You are the URT. Big up the URT. Smash a like for the URT. Subscribe to the URT. Big up the people. Yeah, we're here, people. We're here. We apologize for being late, but big up to everybody. That's not rant, it's pre-season. Yeah. I mean, listen, to me, it's not about the result. It's not about the result too much for me. What it is about the performance. Manchester United performance. So no point having Kobe, no point having some of those boys. Basically, it's not great having some of those boys be, what's the word that I'm looking for? Be have possession. No point having two midfielders who are ball playing when you don't have possession of the football. The performance is worrying. The performance is seriously worrying. He wanted to play a high line. If you can't press the effing football, playing a high line is 101. It's the basics of football. If you have not got enough pressure on the ball, do not go halfway line. And everybody got exposed. Exposed wide open FC. Here we go. And if it wasn't for Lamins, I think we would have held 6, 7, 8. If it wasn't for Lamins, we would have held those things. And if it wasn't from AC Milan's poor finishing, boy, oh boy, it would have been one of those. Gabriel, Bruno, Rice, Maguire, Leacher, Tillemans, Kobe, Low. We're top 6 at best. Yeah. Listen, at the end of the day, I'm not here moaning about a pre-season result, which could have been embarrassing. To me, the only thing that was embarrassing because some of the fan base turned this into what? They turned it into a Ruben Amorim thing. That's what they turned him into. They turned it into Ruben Amorim thing, and we've been exposed. We have been exposed. So that's the reason why Manchester United have been exposed in terms of the fan base, because they've turned it into a grudge match. And really, we shouldn't do a grudge matches. At the end of the day, Manchester United are playing AC Milan in the preseason in Poland. But the fan base got themselves out there and like, revenge. Boy, oh boy. You got absolutely dunked on. And for me, all of the Muppets that have been trying to gaslight me, these Ineos Defence League, who are trying to gaslight me and tell me what I see with my eyes is lies. You know what? Human beings are the worst. It's the ones that try to convince you what you see with your own eyes is not there. It's not correct. Your eyes are lying to me. That's what they've been telling me. The thing about Luke Shaw, all you Johnny come latelys about moaning about Luke Shaw. Try 7 years I've been talking about Luke Shaw. I've been getting into scuffles with people inside the stadium because I'm begging him to get up and down and actually recover properly, run back properly, actually bust the gut to get back and help the defense. And he's not done it in 7 years. But you want me to believe something different, don't you? You want me to believe something different. Oh, he's played 38 games this season. So for the first time under Carrick's reign, in terms of Carrick being a coach, we play a preseason on a Wednesday, then we play preseason on a Saturday. And oh boy, the team has zero energy, zero intensity, zero aggression. And then we put Kobe in the last, however long it was, and Tillemans was ineffective. Second half, we were ineffective. Full stop. Ineffective. Because we don't have dynamic, powerful, athletic runners in the middle of the park that can carry a ball, that can put fires out, that can help recover. Actually, when somebody gets past, somebody can sprint past our defense and knock the ball out for a throw-in or for a corner. And you're supposed to have fullbacks that can get up and down, especially on the left-hand side. You need to have somebody who got the athleticism that and the level of technical ability to be able to get back in and go forward when they need to go forward. But people kept telling me my eyes are lying to me. I'm not talking about the result. Bruno's only second game. Bruno is only his second game in preseason. Rashford and Kobe is their first game in preseason. And Lisa. So I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the guys who have been playing predominantly throughout the preseason, who didn't go to the World Cup and who've been playing throughout the preseason. Cunha, I'm not having a go at. I'm not having a go at Bruno. I'm not having a go at Rashford. I'm not having a go at Kobe. Because they're just, this is their first minutes in 2 months. In nearly 3 months. So I'm not having a go at those people. But what I'm having a go at is the people who play like Maguire and like Shaw. And boy, oh boy, who talks about Maguire and Shaw? And who do people tell me that my eyes are lying to me? How many times do people tell me my eyes are lying to me when I tell you about Luke Shaw, when I tell you about Harry Maguire? I'm not talking about the result, even though it was embarrassing to some of you lot who wanted revenge against Amorim. I told you, things not about Amorim, it's about the people who bought him here. Who most of the IEL workers are telling me they know what they're doing. People who bought, knowing the squad that we've got, knowing how compatible the squad and the way he wants to play football, they're the people that should be blamed. The people who bought Amorim here, not Amorim. I got nothing personal against Amorim. I haven't. Now, listen, I'm not going to talk about anybody else. It is what it is. It ain't just what Rand says. It's about millions of these people, bots, who every time I make a post about how Ineos are frauds, keep telling me I'm negative. It's not about Rand. Stop making it about one person. The IDL is the whole army of them. How many of them are bots? How many of them are real? I don't know. Maybe it's 50-50. Maybe 50% of them are real. Maybe 50% are bots. But my eyes don't lie to me. The eyes don't lie to me. It wasn't about the result. And I repeat, not blaming Kobe. First time he's played in 3 months nearly. 2 and a bit months, sorry. He's got out on play. He didn't play for England. Bruno, second game only, so he's definitely going to start. Maguire, I'm blaming Maguire and them, and I'm looking at them. And Luke Shaw, I'm looking at them. I'm not even looking at Luke Leacher. That's his first game since he had the injury in the World Cup. I'm not even thinking about him. The point is simple. Our eyes don't lie to us, call us negative, or call us right now, this, that. At the end of the day, preseason is not about results, it's about the performance. And if you don't put pressure on the ball, you're going to get exposed when you play a high line. Rule 101 of football, modern football. The other thing is that no point having football in midfield, guys who are technical and good on the ball, if you can't win the effing ball back. But anyway, let me welcome people to the show. Big up everybody. We're hopefully good show for you tonight. Big up Luwani. Not spoke to the brother for a while. Luwani, how are you? I hope you're well.
How are you doing?
I hope you're well, brother. Big up to
good.
Ben.
Thank
and
you.
I hope you're well. Welcome, people. Please, let's get to 100, 200 likes, 150 likes ASAP. Then we can start doing the polls because I really want to hear from you tonight. Ineos have got 2 weeks. They got 2 weeks to get the 3 players that Manchester United need. Or the 4 players that Manchester United need. And it still doesn't stop. We need a third midfielder. We need, I personally believe, a left back and a right back. We need a central midfielder. So central midfielder, 2 fullbacks, and a centre back. That's what we need. Luwani, talk to me. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Good to hear from you, bro.
Good evening.
All is good with family.
Family is good. Everybody is good. We're grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, talk to me, man. Talk to me. Did you watch the game today?
Yes, I did watch the game. Big up Ben. Big up Nordin. Big up Therapy Army. I did watch the game, and they say you learn more in a defeat than in a victory. So, what did we learn exactly today? What did we learn today? We learned that Tielemans cannot be the first phase midfielder, and it's not because that he's not good progressing the ball. It's just when that ball goes up and come back, he cannot defend it. So many times you see him dropping in the middle of that center back, those two center backs today trying to progress the ball. His ability to carry the ball, I have some issue with that. He's not that good of a ball carrier. He's more of a passer. So it shows today. I think there's also a little lack of fitness when it comes to him. But in general, you don't want somebody who's not defensively good to be your single pivot or to be dropping in the middle of those center back, because if a mistake happen, he cannot defend. You rather so just look at it this way. If you swap him with Andre Santos, for example, at least he have a little defensive steal from him. If it doesn't work out, him progressing the ball, he can still defend it. The second thing, Dogo is not a winger. Let's stop this thing. Dogo is not a winger. He's I said it last time, he's just an outlet that have a good shot on him. That's it. Wingers are supposed to play in modern football as inverted midfielders. They're supposed to be able to do midfielding, the intricacy of the game, especially in the system that Carrick wants to play. Our wingers are supposed to almost be able to double up as midfielders, but I don't think Dogo can do that. So I think that we need to stop that nonsense. The third thing I learned today is Bruno is a fucking problem. I don't care. You can talk about agenda. No, then I disagree with you about the fitness and this is his first game. I don't care. You are an elite player at an elite level. Okay? Basic things as fundamental shouldn't be escaping you. When you look at that first goal that we concede, throwing from Mazarari. First of all, I don't know what he's doing in that channel collecting the ball. The throwing comes to him. Instead of letting the ball run across his body like a good player will do, because they already scan the environment before even asking for the ball from a throwing. He took a touch that took the ball into the path of the person that's pressing him. Right there, we lose the ball in the dangerous area. Balls, I think it was Maguire and Santos that got bundled up trying to tackle. And before you know, ball gate crossing is a goal. Fourth thing, Luke Shaw cannot start. He cannot start. We can't do this. He cannot start. So those are the four things that I learned today from this game. But last week I was talking about the balance between surrendering control for potency, and I got some of my answers today. My issue is not the people that we acquire. My issue is not Tielemans and Santos' ability to progress the ball. We upgrade in that department. The issue is when they punch that ball past the line of press, who is that ball going into? If you take Dogu, Bruno, Mbomo, and Cunha, is different from Ahmad, Shea Lacy, Xerxes. You see where I'm going with this? If you want to be able to play with a single pivot, you want to be able to play the kind of football Carrick wants to play, you have to be able to keep that ball when you get into that final third. And that will allow you to bring everybody into play. And keeping that ball will also allow the other team not to have it. Today, AC Milan didn't do anything special. I say AC Milan. AC Milan didn't do anything special. The issue is that when we have Amorim didn't do anything that he didn't coach us to do before. Same thing they do. He circulated the ball between these lateral center back. He was baiting our press all the time. In the first few minutes, we didn't take the bait. We'll press, we'll come back again. We'll press, we'll come back. We weren't committing. So they couldn't break us down. They had a lot of the ball, yes, but they have it in their own half. And then frustration starts setting in. When you start shuffling, you're shuffling from left to right every time they move the ball. And for a long period, the opposition is sustaining possession. Eventually, the things are going to start showing. The gaps are going to start showing. We can keep that up. And as soon as the gap starts showing, we start playing their ball. The issue we have, we give them way too much of the ball to be able for them to execute. And then when they start executing, it was the same formula. That's Amorim ball. It's ISO, space, switch of play, space again, and they're in. They scored, I think, 2 out of their 4 goals are literally balls go back to their midfielder. They switch to play to the other side, Chukwueze. Chukwueze is in space, and nobody there. Why does that happen? Because they kept the ball long enough to draw us into an area of the pitch and go to sleep. And they kept doing that again. Our issue is not defensively, our defensive setup. The issue is the discipline that comes with the profile that you have on the pitch. We didn't have that issue when you have Ahmad, when you have Lacey and Dogu up front in the games that we play. I know it's a different team, but the formula is always still the same. If you have players, I think Carrick, the issue that Carrick have, I say it again, Carrick's biggest issue is not going to be the system that he wants to play. It's going to be the profile of players that he's using in that system. Because our bona fide starters might not be suited for what he's trying to do. You muted.
We'll see if he goes back to the counter-attacking. But he's tried to evolve. He's tried to get the team to play modern way of football, Ben. And I thought today we got found out. A lot of senior players on that coach. And like I said to you, I fundamentally disagree with Luwani. Players who are playing their second preseason game, I'm not watching them. Bruno, Rashford, Kobe, Licha, who played their first game today, I'm not blaming them. It's about the rest of the players who have been playing most of the preseason and who have had a preseason and whose fitness is up to the standard. For me, it's never about the results. It's all about the performance. And the performance was embarrassing. It was absolutely embarrassing. Where I agree with you, Luwani, is that it's about the player profile you have on the football pitch. And the thing that I warned about in terms of Tielemans, you have to have somebody competent next to him who's got legs and a dynamicism to win the ball back and to give it to him in a different way. So we need somebody who's lower, who can collect the ball, but who's got that little bit of a, pace and power to get us out the face with a dribble or with ball carrying ability. 100 million%. Ben, how you doing? I hope you're good. Big up Ireland, man. Big up United Ireland forever, man. Big up. Listen, first of all, you got an announcement to make. Give us some good news. Talk to me. You're a bit dark, by the way, Ben. You might need to get one of these, honestly, because I can't see your face. It's a bit dark. It's really a bit dark.
Hang on a wee sec. Is it still dark?
Maybe touch the laptop. Yeah, just touch the laptop or whatever it is, or the computer, so the light.
Oh, hang on a wee sec. Hang on 2 wee seconds, guys.
You need a light, bro. You need a light. You need to get yourself a light.
Yeah, I do, mate. I do. Yeah, there's a wee remote though. I have.
Hang on a wee second. Your pretty face.
Of course, bro. Of course.
You can see that boy, charming, young looks. You know what I mean? Me and Luwani are old men out here, man. We're shining.
Is that better?
No, it's not better at all.
No? For fuck's sake, bro.
Don't worry, though. We can see you now, at least. We can see you better than before.
Okay.
Yeah, talk to us. How are you doing?
Yeah, big up, man. Big up Luwani. Big up the chat, man. Yeah, bro. I sent you a DM nerded on Twitter if you want to share. Share to the URT, the announcement, should we say. You can share it to Luwani and to the URT. You can share it on your screen. But, should be. You're on mute, bro. You're on mute. I can barely hear you.
On X?
Yeah, X. Yeah. Sent it on X, bro.
Okay, big up.
Big up to the chat, man. Free Palestine, bro. You know the drill, people. You know the drill.
Always free Palestine, man. Palestine!
So, Nordin.
Yes.
Yeah. So, can I review what you said about the fitness?
One second. One second. I want to share the screen. We got a bit of a good news. We got some positive news, man.
Oh,
Positive
We
news
got
for a start. We got
news,
positive
man.
news.
Positive news. Hey, I like Ben. Signed, sealed, delivered. He's yours.
Here we go. Here we go.
There
Here we
man.
go.
There we go. Bomba.
Bomba.
URT Bomba. Ben has passed his
Congratulations.
medical. Ben, explain to people. You passed your medical and now you are playing
Passed
for
the
who?
Passed the medical, and I'm now playing for Portland Football Club. Big up to the gaffer. Obviously, the gaffer's beside me. Number 2, kit number 2. So yeah, I mean, obviously a right back. You know, number 2 is pretty much the standard number for a right back. So yeah, man, and he was giving me his plans, what he wants me to do as a fullback. It's a year and a half contract. Plus a half. Basically, once the year and a half contract's up, there's a further on extension for like a 6 months extension to add on. So realistically, it's a slightly over 2 year contract. But realistically, yeah. But bro, I'm buzzing, man. Passed the medical, passed everything. I was nervous. I was telling the doctors, saying, "Oh, I'm very very nervous, man," because obviously I failed my first medical, man, and. Yeah, bro. Look, full back and kit. Obviously, it's nice. I mean, I'm not really. That's like probably the only thing I'm not the biggest fan of is the kit. But I don't really give a shit about the kit, man. It's more so like progressing as a footballer and progressing up the rankings, really, like in the divisions and stuff. So yeah, man. And obviously, the system is gonna be the system I've always wanted to play, man. Is the 4-3-3. Obviously, my last football club, it was a 5-4-1 formation, similar to Ruben Amorim. But yeah, man. So obviously, he wants me to just basically be a super attacking fullback. Just gets up and down the pitch, which is going to be very difficult for me, man, because the fitness needs to be there. Obviously, injuries are going to happen too. So I just got to look after myself and look after my body, and most importantly, look after be wise in my recovery period and all that stuff. So. Yeah, man. So yeah, big up to the club, big up to my former club, man, and big up to the gaffer, man. He's everyone was very welcoming. I had my first training yesterday, and the difference I've seen in training compared to the divisions below, obviously my former club, was the intensity. The intensity was there. It was a lot harder. I find. The training was a lot more intense too, which is obviously predictable because you're jumping 2 divisions from your former division, if that makes sense. So yeah, bro, look, it's a journey. You know, obviously it has to. Yeah, I don't expect me to like kick off from there. Like it is going to take me time to get used to the division and get used to the level. But that's it. You know, that's all I'm here for. And obviously, it wasn't good. Obviously, that I failed my first medical because I would have loved to have joined at the start of June and understand the manager's tactics, understand the manager's philosophy and his system. So, but he told me individually what he wants from me and what the plan from the rest of the boys what he wants from them. And yeah, man. So that's all I want, bro. I don't want to be a fullback that just sits back and just fucking guards the centre back, bro. I just want to be up that pitch, bro, overlap and just help out my wingers and help out my attack so much, man. So yeah, that's it, man. So yeah, big up, bro, big up, and I'm delighted, man. Family's delighted, missus is delighted, and yeah, bro. Looking forward to the start of the season, man, and hopefully I can kick on, man. So yeah. And obviously, I was like, obviously when they took the picture, obviously I said, "Oh, I have to show the URT, I have to show the Nerdin, and to the rest of the OGs, bro, in the panel and the chat, bro." So yeah, man, big step, bro, and thing. And look, I don't really care, man, if I'm I'm not here for to fucking it's every footballer's dream to be pro, but I'm just here, I'm just playing because I love the sport. I love football too much, man, and yeah, long may it continue, man. Obviously, I'm in my mid-20s now. I need to kick on, man, and start progressing more, and hopefully, all goes well with especially no injuries and stuff down the line, man, in my life. Touch wood, and yeah, bro, that's that. So big up to the club, man. Big up to the gaffer, and big up to my family too, man. Obviously, they've supported me as well in this football journey or football, whatever it is, career could be. Who knows what the future holds? Who knows? But yeah, man. So yeah,
Listen,
bro, that's that.
the biggest advice I would give you is that when you move up 2 leagues, Ben, your fitness has to be the level. You need to step up the intensity. You need to step up the diet. You need to
100%.
eat good food. Make sure you get enough sleep. Of course, you're an amateur footballer. You work in a full-time job, but you need to, you know what I mean. You need to get the right supplements in. You need to get, eat the right things, rest the right things, but with the intensity. And you also need to do injury prevention rehab. You need to do a specific type of training that is. You can find it honestly on YouTube. I'll send you stuff, especially like
Big
footballers.
up, man.
What the things
Yes.
that you can do to prevent injury. But big up
That'd
to
be
you
great.
though. But you
Yeah.
might have to
Big up,
stop.
Ben.
You might have to give up the beer, the old beer for. a
Oh
bit.
yeah, no, I know. I said to probably the only time I'll have to get that I could probably drink is probably after match day, but like during the week and stuff, like for training and stuff, I have to give that up. And even my missus agreed with it as well. So yeah, look, I have to cut it down sadly, but at the end of the day, I love the sport. I don't want to just take this next level just for just to throw it away like that. I want to heavily focus on it, and that's it, man. So you just have to take what life comes onto you, and obviously I'm grateful and blessed to have this opportunity to well, I'm 3 divisions. It's kind of crazy, like that I'm 3 divisions off from professional football. Like it's mad, and there's seven divisions in football and in amateur over in Ireland, and it's crazy that I'm like 3 divisions off from professional. Like it's actually mad. Like I know obviously professional is nowhere near as good obviously over here in Ireland. Like Ireland professional is like the quality
It's
is,
still,
is shit.
still
Still pro.
decent.
Still pro. Still pro,
decent.
So I mean obviously Paddy McNair, obviously he's came through the rankings, and Johnny Evans, we obviously seen Johnny Evans come through the rankings and stuff. So yeah, man, look, it is what it is, bro. But I don't want to be thinking about that. I just need to take it one step at a
Focus.
time, and that's
Focus,
it, bro.
yeah.
Focus on myself, focus on my diet.
Yeah, a couple of the people in the chat have got some good advice for you. They're saying no Burger Kings like Luke Shaw and all that. People
Nah,
are
he
telling you
can
to stretch
he
more.
can fuck off. He can
He-
fuck off. Look, Shaw.
Somebody saying, Ben, we might need you at United. Congratulations, all the best. Getting all the love, man.
Big up, man. Thank you so much, ERT,
Yeah.
bro. You the guys are the goats, bro. Goats, man. Big up,
Yo,
man. But yeah.
listen,
I'm so sorry.
yeah, sorry for your loss, Andrew. Really sorry for
Oh,
your loss.
man.
May
so
he rest
sorry.
in
Send-
eternal peace, bro. May he
Sending
rest in
condolences.
eternal peace.
Sorry for your loss.
So sorry, Andrew, man. Honestly,
I fucking hate cancer, man.
fucking hate
And
it, bro.
while we're there as well, can we say rest in peace to
Yes.
Jason Arday? Like he says, he was murdered by the racist British media. May he rest in eternal peace. And those of you who would try to reply to me on X, please understand this. In academia, there's a lot of plagiarism, but it wasn't about plagiarism. It was about public lynching of a black man by the media.
Wow.
That's what it was. But let me go back to Luani. Luani, Ben, congratulations. I hope
yes.
you stay healthy, and I hope you
Thank
stay
you, bro.
well. But talk to me about today's
Yes,
game quickly
yeah,
before
I'll
we let
talk-
Luani
yeah.
come back in.
Yes. Well, I watched the whole game. I wanted to understand, how, because I haven't watched the full game of Carrick yet, but this is my first time watching a full game of Carrick for the preseason. Do you know what's crazy, man? I'm not gonna get carried away from the result. I really couldn't give a shit, man. How Michael Carrick is going to get sacked is if he doesn't adapt to a 3-man midfield. People need to understand that this double pivot is never going to work under Man United. Like, whether it's Luis Enrique that comes in as a coach, whether it's Pep Guardiola, whether it's Jurgen Klopp, if he decides to play a double pivot, it's never, ever, ever going to work, man. And yes, I don't want to pinpoint it on Bruno. It is what it is. Like, he's here. He does well with assists and his goals. At the end of the day, it's his first game back. And I can't really put it solely on Bruno or Martinez or all these players who played their first game today. What I'm going to say is Amorim did expose Carrick today. Amorim's system is literally, like, nothing has really changed with Amorim's system compared to Carrick's system in terms of what he wants to do in the midfield. Yes, we're playing through the midfield more, but if you if you analyse it even more, once Bruno gets beaten in that press, we're down to a two-man pivot. And that's literally the exact same with Amorim's system as well. He only had a two-man midfield. The fullbacks, Luke Shaw, literally as static as hell, man. Wasn't even getting up the pitch at all. And just embarrassing, bro. The performance was absolutely embarrassing. And look, all I can really do is put my 2 feet up on my desk and wait for Hull City game, because the IDLs, the Ineos Defence League people, they've been saying to people like me, to people like all of us in the URT, and saying all those Ineos outers, they're all too emotional. You know, they need to sort themselves out. They don't understand how football works. They're just gonna keep crying. You need to stop crying, people. You need to stop crying. Like, Ineos are here. They're gonna save us, bro. They're the best in class. They know what they're doing, bro. We need a left back. We need 2 central midfielders that are defensively minded and they can cover the ground. We need 2 centre backs. We need a right back. We need a striker. We need a left winger too to cover up for Dorgu. And look, I'm not going to get on to Rashford. I actually thought Rashford didn't do anything wrong today, but it's just a shit show right now. And I feel so sorry for Michael Carrick, man. Like, you know, just like I felt so sorry for Ruben Amorim in terms of he didn't get his midfielder. Just like I felt so sorry for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who didn't get Haaland, who didn't get all these fucking players that he wanted, that he scouted. Because we've got vultures at this club, vultures that always keep gaslighting us because we're bringing in youngsters, we're bringing in the future, we're bringing in this, that. It's just embarrassing, bro. And you know what's crazy? I pick up the Lamons. You know, he actually kept us in the game, because that could have been a 6 or 7 goal, devastate. And the reason being, like, it was so crystal clear what Amorim was trying to do. He was trying to make the fullbacks, the wing backs, be the vocal point. And what our wingers and our fullbacks weren't doing is understanding that Amorim's extra man will always be the wing backs, and we didn't capitalize on that. We were just too focused on. Well, Bruno was too focused on fucking pressing like a headless chicken, and the 2 wingers, they weren't doing their job properly. Like Amad Diallo, like he wasn't great today. Where's Shea Lacey? Where's Xerxes? You know, the biggest thing I'm going to criticise Carrick this season is nothing to do with his system. I was actually very impressed. I went to the Croke Park game, and I was actually very impressed what I've seen from Carrick. But like I said, people, you know, you can have a good system, but if you're not going to play a 3-man midfield in this Premier League modern day, you are going to get caught out, bro. You're going to get caught. And what we're seeing right now is exactly what this is. If you told me that Man United were going to the Hull City game with Tielemans, Kobe Mainu, and Andre Santos, I'd be very, very confident going into that, because 3 of them can do both jobs, both roles. They're both hybrid midfielders, but you just need someone that can cover that ground, that can cover that extra distance, if that makes sense, around the pitch. And we don't have that, man. We never had that. And it's just so sad to see this, man, because I'm just fed up with this fucking, you know, manager out, manager in, this, that. The biggest issue is these vultures, bro. And look, I hate Bruno Fernandes, I hate Maguire, I hate Martinez, I hate Luke Shaw, I hate Diego Dalot. But I'm sorry, man, they're not the biggest issues. I don't want them gone yet. I want these fools at the very, very top who are gaslighting the living shit out of us, especially me. And I'm done with the gaslighting. I'm just completely done with it. I want these fuckers out for good, bro. They're just destroying the soul of it, of the football club, increasing ticket prices. Big up to those 2 fans who went up to Omar Potato Head Barada and questioned him about the season ticket prices. It's just such a complete shambles, and these IDLs want to shut us down because we have the best in class. We have a football instructor. Manny and I are doing things properly. We're not doing things properly. We've got incompetent people, and we're not going to progress anywhere in this Premier League or Champions League unless these lot get the hell out of our club, and most importantly, we buy more signings. We needed 6 or 7 signings. That's what I wanted, but we're not getting them. We're not getting them. So look, Carrick system. I like Carrick's system. I'm on board with it, but Carrick off the ball needs to tell Bruno Fernandes or Tielemans or whoever it is going to be the advanced midfielder off the ball. Just sit as a flat 3. Don't fucking press. Don't leave anyone. Don't. Just all play as a flat three, just exactly what Spain did in the World Cup, just exactly what PSG did, just exactly what all these other fucking teams that have won big trophies in the past, however so long, they've all won in the midfield three. And if you don't believe me, people, go and watch the glory days of Iniesta, Sergio Busquets, and fucking Xavi, bro. That there is the best prime example of how midfield three operates and how it works. Because this 4-2-3-1 isn't going to take us anywhere. And they always keep claiming that the 4-2-3-1 is Manchester United's DNA. It's not Manchester United's DNA. You can't win a Premier League or Champions League with a 4-2-3-1. You fucking can't. It never will happen. And I've always been consistent with it. And it's paying off so far, man. So, yeah, I feel sorry for Carrick, man. I really, really do, man. Just like I felt sorry for the other managers. It's just a shame that it's happened. And the fact that none of the fan base are acting on it in terms of, the Ineos itself. But I don't want us to act on the transfers. I just want these bastards out, bro. The fact that we're keeping a guy who's been racist, at the end of the day, if we're keeping a guy that's racist, then why the fuck are we even doing the whole fucking on the knee, Black Lives Matter, this, that on the fucking pitch, bro? Why are we doing that? Why are we doing that if we're accepting Sir Jim Ratcliffe's comments? What we should have done is we should have demanded justice. We should have demanded action and got this fucker out of our club, out of our fucking life. Because no club or no sport, any sports, doesn't have to be football, would have tolerated that. But just because we tolerate it, it just, because we're the biggest club in the fucking world, just because we got the best in class, we got football instructor, it's okay. It's not okay. Get a grip, all of you. Get a fucking grip. Honestly, it's just mind-blowing, bro. How can I accept that? Like, I'm actually being serious. It's still mind-blowing to me that I actually have to, listen to these pricks, these fucking pricks, these IDLs telling me that it's going to be all right. We've got the best in class. When, they're backing a racist. Doesn't make any sense,
It's
bro.
every little thing.
No, it's not, bro.
It's gonna be all right.
It's not, bro. It's not.
It's gonna be all right, man. Don't worry.
You've
got things to focus on anyway. Listen, next time they come to Ireland, you might play a pre-season game against them. You never know.
A fully packed out stadium, by the way, as well. Big up to the Irish, man. It was completely packed. I was literally a lastminute.com tickets, bro, and do you know what? It was it's a phenomenal stadium, man. Like, it's the first time football's ever played there. 85,000, I believe it is, and it was amazing. United fans everywhere, and do you know what's crazy? There were some Leeds fans as well, but they're all in their 50s and 60s. I didn't see any young Leeds fan there. But yeah, big up, man. Big up.
Luani, you wanted to come back at me with one of the things that I said. Go ahead.
Yes, my comeback at you will be about the fitness of Bruno and Cunha. The issue I have is that I watched the game. Yeah, I watched the game against Leeds yesterday. Actually, I watched it, but what I saw from Toby Collier is different. How many games did Toby Collier have? Toby Collier is natural at it. When you are good at something, you just good.
No, but he's
when
not,
you know that.
But he's been training for all pre-season.
No, it is the pace and the decision making for that situation. We are playing a continental football with a continental team. The press of AC Milan was not that hard today to play through. Either you are that type of player or you're not. Okay. When we look at the game today, I also disagree with that notion of playing a midfield two and this. The 4-2-3-1 in reality, you playing with 5 midfielders, especially in Carrick's system, because the 2 wingers that you have today in Dogu and Ahmad will talk in the middle, either with Bruno and your 2 double people. That's normally 5 midfielders. That means if the other two wingers are able to play in the inside, we saw that with Leeds game. We saw that when Shea Lacey was playing in the 10, where Ahmad was playing in the wing, they were both able to switch, to come in the middle and play. We saw that when Xerxes played in a 10 against Leeds. It's a question of profile. When you look at Cunha today, Cunha is somebody that does not have a tight space game on him. He does not have that tight space dribble. Cunha likes space to dribble. He likes his ISO thing. You drop in into that middle. He's bundling over the ball. He's looking for his first touch, trying to carry the ball uselessly instead of playing with instead of playing with Dogu. Does not make any sense. Same thing with Bruno. Back to goal, he can't do it. He has to face the other goal in order to do it. And when he does, it's ball over the top for runners. This is not what today's game asks for. Today's game asks for keep the ball and get everybody else up the pitch so you can get people involved into play. But the profile of players that we have up front just couldn't make the ball stick. I don't understand why. This is why I have a dig at Carrick. Why are you trying to play possession football and Shea Lacey is in the back of a pecking order for Bruno, Cunha, Dogu, and Mbomo? What? How? You can do that? How are you trying to play possession football when Toby Collier is behind the pecking order for the two Fletchers? That doesn't make any sense. Collier should be immediately an understudy behind Tielemans and Santos. This is what I'm saying about. I don't know what's up with the coaching staff, but I'll be honest with you, it's not the system that they want to play. It's just I think they are in a conundrum where most of our starters are not suited for this system. When you asked me last time, Nuruddin, you know exactly what midfielder I will play. I told you exactly. Tielemans, Bruno will be on the bench. I will even play Lacey in the 10 over Bruno. What I'm telling you, and I'm not even kidding. This is not because AC Milan didn't even press us today. The issue with execution is that we gave Amorim's player enough time to execute their plan. I promise you, the team that Amorim coached with us is better than this AC Milan team. I only recognize maybe three faces: Chukwueze, Modric, and Pavlovic. After the game today, I have to go look at the position Pavlovic was playing and have to laugh out loud because Pavlovic was a defender. I thought he was a midfielder. And the principle was always the same. You give them enough of the ball, they go to the flank, and they wait for you to compress the pitch into that area. They go to their midfield, and the switch of play is on. And it's okay. That's their plan. But why do you give them enough of the ball in order for them to execute their plan A? That's my problem.
We are back to shadow pressing. Rule 101 of football. You not play a high line. It's suicide if you play a high line without putting pressure on the ball. And it's suicide if you have ball players, but you don't have nobody to win the ball back. It's simple as, at the end of the day, for me, the errors were there all to be seen. They were there for everybody to lay. It laid bare. It laid bare. We got exposed by the wing backs. Chukwueze absolutely tore us apart. I mean, they scored 3 goals in 14 minutes in the second half. Took us apart. They literally took us apart, people.
Yep.
People, we've not even got 100 likes yet. I just don't know what's going on, genuinely. Like, what are we doing here? Genuinely, what are we doing here, people? We need to get to 200 likes ASAP.
You see, it burns my head when I see Mazraoui and Ahmad almost on top of each other. Because when I see Mazraoui coming inside, having the ball in the channel, right on top of Amorim's team's box, I want to see Ahmad on the chalk. But Ahmad is not on the chalk. Ahmad is somewhere in the middle. That means we are compressing the pitch so much. Why are you trying to compress the pitch so much with players that cannot keep the ball up front? What the hell? And then when they get the ball, two passes, switch of play, everybody is on one side of the pitch. Chukwueze is like, hello. Seriously?
We're so predictable now because the only, like, how, if any manager was to say how do you play against Man United, simple. They play free. Amad Diallo, Mazraoui, we always play through the right hand side, where Ahmad and Buemo, Mazraoui, Diego Dalot, and we play for Bruno Fernandes. That's literally how you beat Man United. See Cunha, Luke Shaw, that side, it's literally non-fucking existent, non-existent. Because I never really seen us go round, Luke Shaw and Cunha work together. They didn't work shit together. Neither did Rashford or Luke Shaw, and I'm not blaming Rashford and Luke Shaw. It's just we don't have a fucking a left back that can go up and down the pitch. I promise you, if that's Lewis Hall, you're gonna see Lewis Hall up that fucking pitch. Cunha, give me the ball. Cunha, give me the ball. Give me the ball. Yes, look at Mazarawi. Mazarawi gets up the pitch, pass and go, pass and go. Ahmad, what are you doing? You're not making any runs. But as soon as Shea Lacey comes on, he makes runs. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't think Mazarawi and Ahmad played well together. I don't know where, like, they need to, like, figure each other out, man, because, obviously me being a fullback, like, obviously with Luke Shaw, like, he just doesn't know how to play fucking fullback. But, what I seen from today, it wasn't really Mazarawi's fault today. It was more so Ahmad. Ahmad just didn't know where to fucking be when Mazarawi was pressed up high of the pitch. But what Ahmad should be doing is understanding how them two played in the last game of the season against Brighton. That's literally how you progress for your chemistry. Obviously, with your fullback and your winger, it's just basically one of them inverts, like obviously cuts in the inside, and one stays in the fucking touchline. But like Luani says, both of them didn't know where to fucking be, where to be in the pitch, and we're literally 2 feet from each other. We didn't know where to be in the football pitch. And Bruno, like I said, it was all down to, we just kept playing the ball to Bruno Fernandes and trying to be hoofball. Yeah, big up, bro. And it's just a disaster, bro. And once again, if we're being too predictable in making our attacking third being from our right hand side where Ahmad and stuff is, then we're in deep trouble. We are in deep shit right now.
Ben, you see, today I didn't even look at the problem as Ahmad, what Ahmad can give us versus what Shea Lacey can give us, right? Ahmad is one of our best wingers, and Shea Lacey is one of our most versatile players. Shea Lacey can play across the front three. He can play in the 10. He can play on the left. He can play on the right. The issue is if you have too much of a bad combination, you sacrifice ball retention. If you have Shea Lacey in that 10, like we saw before, I think that was the game before Leeds, the combination Shea Lacey, Ahmad work. The combination Shea Lacey and Xerxes will work. But if you give him too much, right? Let's look at the player profile. Let's look at Cunha. Cunha is a head down dribble. His first touch is not really that, but he dribble in space. If he doesn't have space, left and right of the defender or whoever press him, he take long touch on his dribble. Shea Lacey doesn't do that. Shea Lacey can take small touches, drop the shoulder, play in small touches. Right there, you already have a different profile. Same thing with Dogu. Dogu is not a tight space player. He's dynamic, but he cannot play back to goal. He's not a tight space player too. Now add Bruno to that mix. You have 3 players that are fundamentally different in profile. Okay, last time we got away because we have Ahmad and Shea Lacey, okay, that were combining with Tielemans, and later on they were combining with Andres Santos. That can work. You see, Carrick's system is based on having the numbers forward, and the triangle that we will have on the left is supposed to be normally between Dogu, Luke Shaw, and the 10. That was Shea Lacey. That's fine because Dogu will look for his space and they will find him. Supplemented by one of the DM that step forward a little bit. It could be Tielemans, it could be Santos. On the other side, the triangle was supposed to be between Shea Lacey, Ahmad, and the left back, which was Mazarawi or Dalo, supplemented by the DM. That can also work, okay. And when we saw when we watched the Leeds game, what's his name? Xerxes was able to also play that 10 role perfectly. It's just a matter of who is playing there. If you put Bruno, Cunha, and Dogu together, it's just too much of players that want to move the ball back to front really quick. Dogu want that space. he's gonna want to carry that ball head down. Same thing with Cunha. He's carrying that ball head down. Bruno, he's firing it over the top. He's not carrying it, but he's firing it over the top. We surrender possession today for potency, but we forgot something. We couldn't even get that potency. We couldn't even, because once you give the ball to the other team, you allow them to execute their plan A. What I'm thinking right now about when I'm looking at Carrick, I'm saying to myself, okay, you know, against when Amorim was coaching us, right? His issue was drawing. He had his ball go to the flank. To the flank, the wing back will ask for the ball, and then the ball goes to the middle, and the switch of play go to the other side. But you can beat Amorim ball by pressing high, and that's why a lot of teams were doing against us. If you remember, our center backs were touching the ball a lot, and teams were pressing them high, and we have to go long, and that ball keep coming back. If we press them high today, we might have had some success. You see, in the second half, we did that, and they cough up a goal. They cough up a couple of opportunities. The issue is that if you don't press them and you sit in formation, you keep shuffling from left to right, you forcing them to put their execution into play. Chukwueze and Cisse on the other side did not just come alive. At the beginning, they were not finding any success, but they keep trying, and the more they keep trying, we keep getting frustrated. They keep gaining in confidence, and now they're in the groove. At that point, you know, it's just possession thing. You surrender possession, you just
I think all of us just need to stop being emotional. We need to stop being emotional. You know,
Listen,
yeah.
one thing about football is about emotions. If you don't know, you don't know. I can't help you. Football is about emotions. Football.
What is Carrick's plan B? Because
Facts.
if you drop in Tielemans in the center of that those center back, and you leave Andre Santos alone over there up top, he's going to get man mark like they did today. Yep. What is your plan B? Are you going to force the issue, or are you going to go long?
Need, Lubani, what positions and what signings do we need in 2 weeks' time? And can Ineos do it? That's the question, guys. What positions do we need to have play better, bit more quality, and bit more get Luke Shaw, Maguire? Are you? Did you enjoy their performances today?
No.
Why not? Why not, Luwani? I'll go to Luwani first.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
How can I enjoy the game of somebody who's as lazy as Luke Shaw? He doesn't. Chukwueze was just turning him around over there, left and right. Like, he is just that lazy. He's the reason why we don't have an outlet on the other side. Because one thing is asking Dogo to come inside, and Dogo cannot do inside things, okay? But if that ball still finds its way to your DM that's facing the play, he needs to have the option to play Luke Shaw into space. But the guy doesn't want to run. The guy is on the same level as the DM that's supposed to find him in space. What is he supposed to do? He had to recycle possession at that point. Luke Shaw, I'm sorry, man. At this point, he can start. He can start. Harry Amas.
But bro, like when I seen Harry Amas, bro, in this preseason, it's just been a breath of fresh air, man. Like, you know, he is just levels ahead of fucking Luke Shaw, man. And look, you know what I've seen today is we actually did try to press him today, and they got through our press a lot. But one thing I didn't like with our press, when they beat our press, like, it was just a massive ounce of space, bro, around the pitch. No Man United player to be seen. Do you know why? Because our back four is too protective over Maguire and Martinez, or Maguire and Heaven. What you should be doing is, if you get beaten in the press, your fullbacks need to have that intention. No matter what side of the football pitch it is, you need to be pushed up and join that press to a certain extent as well, to cover the ground, and most importantly cover the centre backs as well, but most importantly to cover the centre of the pitch as well, because your forwards have been completely capitalised You know, I remember it was Dorgu, Mbuemo, Ahmad, Bruno, and I can't remember the other player. But we all just I don't know who this left centre back was for AC Milan, but he just dominated the whole press and they switched to play, and after that, it was just a massive amount of space, lots and lots of
Pavlovich
gaps,
guy.
and you know. But this is what Carrick needs to be telling the fullbacks. If you get beaten in the press, you two need to be the first fucking contact onto that obviously onto that when they're progressing up, when the opposition are progressing up from the pitch. And I guarantee you right now, if we had played a high line and they were trying to play out from the back and we were trying to high press them, that wouldn't have happened today if we played a high line, because it just brings more bodies onto the pitch and brings more bodies closer to the actual players pressing up from the pitch as well. It's just the whole importance of having that high line, and sadly we just can't play a high line because we got McDonald's, who literally his belly is as bigger as his fucking head. Diego Dalot, who literally hasn't got a Scooby Doo how to play a fullback. Maguire, I mean, we know who Maguire is. He's like a fucking Rooney pony these days, bro. He's just so slow, bro. And I called it, bro. You know, we need two centre backs. We need a fullback. We need a right back. I mean, look, to get us off to a good start, we would have seen a difference today if that was Lewis Hall playing in that left back role, or Truffert. It could be Truffert from Bournemouth. It could be any other pacey left back. I'm not saying we have to go all in for Lewis Hall. I could say any pacey left back, but we wouldn't have been capitalised today if we had got a left back in and also a midfielder that can cover the space. Yes, obviously the centre backs is still a big issue. Yes, Diego Dalot is still a big issue, but it would have somewhat, to a certain extent, helped us a lot, because Amorim was using the right 10 or the fullback, the right wing back, to his vocal point, and that's where most of his attack was coming from, because Luke Shaw just can't tackle, bro. He can't defend. You're on mute, bro. You're trying to speak.
See, I have to mute because of my ADHD so that I don't disrupt.
No, big up, man. No
people
worries,
when
bro.
they're
No worries, bro. Go ahead, bro.
Listen, we made Jacquezie look like prime fucking. I don't even know what play to say. Prime Messi. I mean, he ran the fucking game in the second half. Jacquezie of all people.
You asked the question, how many players do I think we need, right? I don't think it will make even a fucking difference. Because how many... Let's talk about the numbers.
No, you don't think we need a left back?
No. Let's talk about the numbers, right? How many players are you trying to add to a team where the coaching staff and the coach do not know what their best first 11 is? How many quality you trying to add to a team when they don't know what their best 11 is? If you bring in Baleba right now, I want a ball carrier, somebody that's physical, that can run down people. The problem is not, Baleba is not going to solve our problem. Lewis Hall is not going to solve our problem. You know why? Not because Lewis Hall is not good. It's because the winger will not see him. Cunha will not see him. Okay? Bruno will not see him. Okay? Why? Not because Bruno cannot see him facing the other play. Bruno have a range of putting the pass anywhere on the pitch, left and right. But he has to face the play first. He's playing back to goal. He can't do it. He can't turn around. Guys, you guys just realized Bruno have become a pressing trigger for the opposition now, because they know that he cannot face the play. So every time, that's why he's vacating the midfield so much, because the only time he finds space on the pitch to face the play is when he goes to the wing or he go marauding somewhere else where there is less traffic. Right now, even if we bring in Lewis Hall to open up the pitch for us, I'm afraid that the triangle between Lewis Hall, Cunha, and Bruno, they're not going to find him. Yeah. They're not going to find him.
It's crazy to think, because look, I don't want to pinpoint it all on Bruno. Like, you know, I am Bruno's biggest hater. I fucking hate the guy. Like, you know, I just don't rate him as a footballer. Never have. But when you analyze our whole midfield and our whole
But Ben, do you agree with me though that we can't really blame because it's his second preseason game?
No, 100%.
Can't blame Rashford. Can't blame Kobe.
That's what I'm
Can't
saying.
blame Leacher.
That's what I'm saying. But this brings on to my next thing. This is why this Carrick needs to sort himself out in terms of, does he want to progress with a double pivot and a number 10? If you're going to progress with a double pivot and a number 10, what Manny and I have been playing with, the same system Manny and I have been playing for the last 10 years, so be it. Do it. Perform. Let's see, Carrick. Let's see what you're like. And if you have a plan B, good. Let's see what you're like. And if Carrick does feel and he gets sacked, now obviously partially mainly it's because of Ineos, because they didn't back him, but it goes down into the books again that a manager whose system is a 4-2-3-1 possession based has failed once again. I fucking promise you right now. Look, I'm not. Please, honestly, Bruno fans in the chat or wherever you are, if you're watching this, I'm not pointing on Bruno today, but I'm sorry if you had a Tielemans, if Tielemans was the more advanced midfielder, if you had Tielemans, a Sanderberg, a Kobe Mainu, a Santos, Lacey to some extent as well. Yeah, I would agree as well. But bottom line is, you need to play a 3-man midfield. Forget about this number fucking 10, man. That's why people love Mason Mount, because Mason Mount can do the positional discipline as a number 10. But the issue with Mason Mount is the ball doesn't stick to his fucking feet, bro. It just does not stick to his feet. I'll even say this right now. Joshua Zirkzee. Wow. I'm not even lying to you. I actually can see Joshua Zirkzee being a number 10 instead of a number 9, man. Because that guy is just a wonderful footballer, bro, to watch, bro. And I was just so glad to watch him, obviously live as well, bro. He's just a phenomenal footballer, bro. But look, I just think the modern day football has progressed on. You have to play a 3-man midfield. I'm not blaming on Bruno today, people. I'm not. Just like I'm not blaming Rashford, even though I don't like Rashford. I'm not blaming that midget in fucking Martinez. I'm not blaming any of these, but Carrick needs to sort himself out. What do you want to do? Do you want to go down with this double pivot again this season? Or do you want to go to a 3-man midfield that I have been saying for the last decade?
Ben, we're not going to discriminate against small people.
Okay.
So warning. You get a yellow card. Pick up all the small people.
But it's Martinez anyways, but like yeah.
No, then Ben. Let's look at Amorim.
You gotta love the small people.
Let's look at Amorim today. Amorim, the United team that Amorim got.
Before you start that, can I ask you a question? Mm-hmm. Do you think the knowledge that Amorim has on our players' deficiencies play to this advantage, and that he said that this is where they're going to be weak at, this is where to get at them? Do you think that that's one of the reasons, because he has the inside knowledge?
I don't think so. And if it is true that he briefed those players before the game, it shouldn't matter. Okay? It shouldn't matter. Because when you have the ball, it doesn't matter what kind of briefing the opposition team gets in the locker room. You guys are in charge of executing your own plan. When I look at this team today, when I look at Amorim's team that he has, the United team that Amorim had, okay, if you look at the makeup of that midfield, I remember he was playing Bruno in a double pivot until a certain extent. When you compare that United team to the team that he has today, okay, that United team is better than the team he has today. So the question I'm asking myself, how did Amorim manage to beat us with a worse team when we improve our team after he left?
Because it's simple, Luani. The main thing why Amorim beat us in a bad team, yes, Amorim is literally where Amorim's focal point is literally the wing backs. But what we did was we left Tielemans, we left Santos exposed today. And do you know what the reason why we left Tielemans and Santos exposed is? Because we play with a number 10. It's because we play wingers that don't track back. And I'm not blaming Rashford on that, by the way. But reality is Rashford and Shaw can't work together at all, bro. It's just It's literally a disaster class. But that's one of the reasons why we lost today. It was nothing to do with Amorim's system, by the way. It was nothing to do with Amorim's system. It's literally a shit show, Amorim's system. But the fact that we don't play with three-man midfield, and most importantly, our fullbacks aren't aware of the wing backs, because obviously it's literally crystal clear what Amorim wanted to do. Amorim did not want to play anywhere near the middle of the park. It was all the width. The width, the width, the width, the width, the width.
Yeah, but Ben, you have to earn the right to use the width by keeping the
100%.
ball, by
Keeping the
controlling
ball.
the ball a lot.
Exactly.
Because they were very patient. The one thing I took from today's game, right, is that the Amorim team today was patient. Is very unlike what
Yeah,
he
it
was
was.
doing when he was with us. Because we tried to go, when he was coaching us, we tried to go direct every time over the top. But when you look at the makeup of that midfield today, they were patient. They keep trying. It was not working, and they didn't care. They didn't care. Even after they concede, they were so calm, passing the ball in their own half, trying to force us into areas that they want to, and then that trigger their execution and their switch of play. So the difference is the profile of player that he has in that midfield. Let's say Milan midfield today, the profile of player he has versus the profile of player that he has when he was coaching us. They were not rushing anything.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree. Big
Well,
up the Sean, bro.
big up, guys.
Oh,
Oh wow, he's
Sean,
got the new. He's got the new mic. He's got the new mic. Sir Jim's invested in a new mic, people.
How are you, Sean? First of all, how's the family? How are you?
I'm
How's
okay.
the weather over there? Is it
I'm
nice?
okay. I'm
Yeah.
wondering if it's the same, game that we watched or preseason that we experienced, listening to you guys. It's as if
Can
it's as
we
if
talk about the performance? What players impressed you today? Let's start on the positive.
no, like I mean,
so
there's
what
no need to
impressed you
start.
today's game?
There's no need to look for positives or fake positives there. I think we can talk about the game as it was. For me, what I saw, there's drama around the game, right? Because it's Amorim. And I think Amorim's system is a good experience for these players because say what you want about it, but it's kind of a possession-based system. We saw it when he was at United. The three centre backs get a lot of the ball, and they spend a lot of time passing among themselves. And so the United team didn't have what it took basically to press. And I think that's down to the fact that for the first time in a long time, we have a squad. And so today we started with Cunha instead of Mbeumo up front. And Bruno and Tielemans starting for the first time instead of the other midfielders that we've seen during preseason. All the good performances that we've seen this season have come without our supposed best two midfielders playing in midfield. That's a conundrum wrapped in an enigma, right? And it's a tough question for Carrick to deal with. And I think that's what we saw today. The spine of the team basically was soft because the players aren't up to par. I think there's also another question fundamentally about whether you can play Tielemans and Bruno together. That's a different question. I don't know. I think I prefer to see Kobe Mino in there. Tielemans reminds me of Ericsson in a bit, in a way. I definitely think there's room for him there, but at the same time, um, I think I'm not taking too much from this game. It was a poor performance, sure, but I know what I'm seeing in the team. I understand and appreciate the fact that we brought in some players today who we needed to give time. Because I think if he had gone out with Mbeumo up front and Joshua Zexi in the number 10, I think we'll have played a lot better. Um, than we did today. That doesn't mean that Zexi is a better 10 than Bruno or anything like that, but it is what it is. I'm not as worried as you guys seem. I think definitely we need to sign a left back. That one seems pretty obvious to me. But I'm happy for Amorim. I think Amorim gets to exercise the demons of United and last season. I think this win meant a lot to him. I think it would have meant a lot to the players as well, but maybe that's not the kind of energy we need. Maybe that's not what we deserve. And so I think for me, the real question is Carrick going to be brave enough to bench Bruno and Tielemans on Saturday against Hull? right? Because he can't start with either of those guys. He can't call himself a credible manager and spend 1 month, 1.5 months, 3 weeks with a few players, bring in Bruno overnight and Tillemans overnight and Cunha overnight and say you want to start them in the Premier League. I think he should reward the players that are fitter and are in form. But that's for me where the real question lies. I'm not gonna cry, foul and wolf. I think we've had a good preseason all in all. And the players that will welcome back today, they needed to get some time to play. And while we didn't look good on the ball, the flashes were there. I think there were moments where you saw, what it could be, but yeah.
That's a good. That's
Big up, Sean.
I actually agree with you, Sean. In terms of Cunha and Bruno, like I don't think it's wise for Carrick to just instantly start players who are only just back from preseason. Like they're not up to, they're not match sharp. Their fitness is dreadful. Obviously they're off a few weeks for the World Cup, especially Martinez, obviously with Argentina and stuff. So I think it is wise that Carrick shouldn't be starting these players next week, bro, because if he does, obviously with Hull City, especially newly promoted side, they're going to be up for it, and it's a 12:30 kickoff. People like the atmosphere is going to be very very electric, and the Hull City fans are going to be up for it, and the Hull City players are all going to be very fit as well. So look, realistically, in fitness wise, if we start with Bruno, Cunha, and Martinez, realistically, they probably have a better squad than us in terms of fitness wise. Obviously forget about the quality, but fitness wise, I think they have a better squad than us.
You know,
And they're ahead of us.
I wouldn't start Martinez, but like I wouldn't even
No, I
start like
wouldn't.
Aiden Heaven either, right?
Oh,
Heaven, I don't
okay.
know, like he's shaky bum time. I would play Maguire and I would play Maguire and
Sean,
Euro.
Sean, the
Um,
question is, there's only one question here. Are you worried? Because after the performance that I
we're,
watched
we're
today,
worried about what?
especially in the second half, I am worried. I
We're
don't think
worried
Manchester
about
United
what?
are ready. Well, 35% possession. We put footballers on the football pitch, but we got nobody to win the ball back. And then we started doing some fake pressing, like I always call it shadow pressing. And then we went to halfway line, and we were getting beaten the most basic 1-2s. We made Jokowiezi look like he was prime Messi.
Yeah, I mean,
What are we doing here?
what I saw
Did
was
you not
that
watch the same game as us?
no, what I
Did
saw
you not
was
watch the
that
same second
more
half as
than
us? They
what I
scored
saw was
3
that more
goals
than
in
half of the
14 minutes.
time, more than half of the time that Tillemans got the ball, right, he got pushed off it. I saw that happen a lot. I saw a team that wasn't able to press the way we normally do, right? That couldn't pass out of the back, for some reason, and because we don't have a number
Hoofball
six or
came back. Did you see Hoofball? Did you see Martinez getting the ball and hoofing it? Maguire getting the ball and hoofing it?
I mean,
Instead of trying to
I don't know
try to
what you
play
mean
through
by
the midfield,
I don't know what
try
you
to
mean
play
by
the two players that
hoofing
we've
now,
got.
right? One of
We've got.
one of the
No,
best goals that we've seen as United fans was Martinez to Ahmad against City, right? There's nothing wrong with a defender trying a long ball from deep. And you could say that Rashford isn't used to making those runs. He doesn't they don't have they're not in sync yet, I should say. All the players or the players that play today.
I'm not blaming
But
Rashford, Kobe, or Licha or Bruno even. I'm not blaming them. The rest of them look worryingly good. People, there's over 270 of you here.
I think the
Already we
way
got 200 likes. The least you can do is like the video, subscribe to the channel.
the best way I can put it to you, right, is if you didn't let yourself take anything super positive from the performance against PSG, and I don't mean just the first half performance, I mean the second half performance as well, when Vitinha and Neves came. If you didn't let yourself or you didn't let anyone go crazy with that performance, then you also can't allow yourself, go too crazy with this performance. And I know you're saying people want to say that the season is next week, but again, remember, Mbeumo didn't start. Neither did Xerxes, right? Santos played basically only one half. Um, I think, and Bruno was just getting his first start, I believe, as a run out. So was Tillemans. First time they're playing together. That's supposed to be our strongest midfield three, basically there, if or unless you want to swap Maino for Tillemans. So and Dorgo playing on the left, sure, he gives us something in terms of being able to press, but like there's a kind of cutting edge that he lacks. and Dorgu seems to me like kind of player that needs like he needs like a run of games basically to get going. And once he does, like he's unstoppable. And like we're not there yet. So, preseason is either preseason or it's not. You can't pick and choose when you want to make preseason be all defining. And to worry is fine. I think we're all worried as United fans. I think everybody is saying we need more signings, even Carrick as well. I would take three new signings at least. I'll take another striker. I'll take a midfielder and I'll take a left back. So I think we have a good squad. I think we have a big squad. I think Carrick has some very, very difficult choices to make because every choice is important. If you start Rashford, I'm going to go out on a limb. This Rashford experiment as a narrative device, as a plot device, great potential. But on the pitch, I worry about it because he doesn't press the same way Dorgu does or Cunha does. And I just don't see Rashford being happy on the bench. He also doesn't give us the same kind of sharpness that Mbeumo does on in the number 9. I don't think he's as good a striker as Mbeumo or Sesko. So what are we doing basically with this Rashford parole? I think in midfield as well, Tielemans, Bruno, Santos. Is Tielemans supposed to play as deep as he did at Aston Villa? I don't know. I think Carrick has a lot of choices to make. I think the Dalot versus Mazraoui question up in the air. Anytime that you play a defense striker, what do you do with Mbeumo or Ahmad? Carrick had the luxury last season, right, of
Mm.
no expectations. No
Uh,
expectations. Like he just had to,
son,
he just had to perform and hit highs. But I think this season there's a lot at stake. And I share your worries, but at the same time I'm calm. I think we're playing good football.
I'm glad that you calming the waters down today. But from what you said that Carrick have a lot of choices to make, some hard choices. I agree with you. It's only hard choices if he doesn't stick to his principle. He's trying to play a certain way, and there are only some players in the team that can play that way. Unfortunately for him, where the decision become hard is those players are not the starters that he have in his head. If you take Cunha is good on the dribble. He has a first touch. I'll give him that. But his dribbles are so long that usually the defenders that's on the cover come up and scoop the ball. That's
Facts,
that's
facts.
that's a turnover machine. You take Bruno. Bruno is good when he's facing the other goal. If he's back to goal, he's
He
not
can get
getting that ball,
he can
right?
get
We
smashed.
concede that we get he gets smashed. He conceded that goal today. You see the first goal when he got the throw in from Mazarari. He was back to goal. He didn't let the ball run across. He tried to take a touch. He get pressed, surrender the ball. Same thing when we talk about Dogu. Dogu is good when there's space in front of him. You drop in that middle, he's looking for his first touch and he's fighting everybody, pushing everybody off the ball. That's not winger play for me. Now you go to Mbomo, same thing. Elusive first touch. He's ghosting in the whole game. Yeah, he does some pressing, and then he's not even that clinical to warrant that he earned a starting place. Now, if you take those four players, those are bona fide turnover machine. You cannot legislate for that. You cannot compensate for that. I don't care what your system is, especially when you carry, you're trying to play possession football. You are not going to keep the ball up front long enough to be able to bring your fullback into play. It's not going to happen. It's not a coincidence. Last, it's funny because we can say anything we want, right? Last game I was looking at the Leeds versus United. In the second half, they brought in their A team. And you know who I saw on that midfield playing comfortably? Toby Coley. Toby Coley, people, 22. We sent him on loan 2 times. He came back and he looked like he belongs there. You know, when you have 11 other players that you're playing on the pitch with, football is just like, it's like air, the tree of life. Either you touch it and it flow through you easily. You don't have to try hard. But when you insert somebody like what's his name, the Fletcher, or people who are rushing everything, right? Now you feel a disturbance in the air. It's not the game suddenly not flowing. When you have Xerxes in the 10, the game flows. When you have uh, Shea Lacey in the 10, the game flows.
Yeah.
It just doesn't work. It's a
Luani, man,
profile team. It's not a fitness team.
Luani, my problem with your arguments is like you're oversimplifying things, right? Because these bona fide turnover machines that you call them, right? We bopped Arsenal off the park in their own stadium. We beat City. We beat Liverpool. We beat Spurs, Villa. We had a very good run basically last season. I think the good thing about this Carrick team, from my perspective, is that they know how to attack. They know how to create chances. There's this sense that we would always score goals. The fundamentals, like the fact that we have like a soft underbelly, right? That's a long-standing problem basically with United teams. And Andre Santos gives us some grit in midfield. I think we need another midfielder basically to solve that problem. But I think you're not being fair to these players when you focus on the situation or the specific scenario where they are weak. There's tons of other strong points. Look at the goal that Burma created for Xerxes the other day, right? That Mbemo to me is one of our most clinical players up front. Look at Cunha against Arsenal last season. Cunha is also a killer. Look at Cunha against Fulham. In the box. Look at Cunha against Liverpool as well. Look at Cunha against Chelsea. He's a clinical player. That's why he can play both in number 9 and on the left. Each of these players give us something different, right? I think Carrick's dilemma. I think what makes a good coach, make or break a good coach, is do you have the wisdom or the sense to know when to play Nani or Ronaldo, right? To know when to play Ji-sung Park, to know when to play Darren Fletcher instead of the other person, to know when to play this guy or the other guy. Like these are the choices basically that you have. All your players don't have to be Mr. Perfect every day. I think finding the balance. That's why I said Carrick, if he has integrity, in my opinion, he wouldn't start with the big names this weekend, unless unless they have like some super intense 5-day training period where they develop fitness overnight or something. Then he shouldn't play them against Hull because that's a risk, and he should reward Zexi, I think, for the good form. So I don't know, man. I don't share the pessimism. I think the team is very good. I think there's evidence for the fact that the team is good. And preseason is either preseason or not.
I think I
So
think I, I
you
think
see,
people. I think if
well,
sorry, just
let me
quickly, Lonnie.
just rebuke
Go
what
ahead.
you
Go ahead.
said,
Go ahead.
right? Sean, you said that we most of the team we beat last
I
year.
swear to God, Sean,
When
Sean,
you talk
you'll make a brilliant politician. I swear to God.
when you talk
If
about
I'm ever in trouble, I need you as my lawyer. I'm telling you, I'm getting up. I'm
when you
walking out of there.
when you talk about the team we beat last year, right? You still realize that within that stretch of games that we were winning, you talk about Arsenal, Liverpool, City. Those are essentially teams that we hit in transition. I'm not
Yeah.
saying we are a bad team. We're just a one-dimensional team.
No,
We
there's
love
there's Fulham, there's
we
West
love
Ham
being
within
direct.
those two. There's Aston Villa.
We
It
yeah.
wasn't just teams. There was a whole flavor
One second,
spectrum of
right?
teams.
1 second, right? The big teams, the onus was on them to build up the play. Same thing when we were at Arsenal. The onus was on them to build the play. We essentially hit them in transition. That's what we did, right? Now, when you talk about the West Ham, I like to bring two games, the West Ham and the Fulham. And that's my worry. West Ham, low blockers. We couldn't beat them. And that is my worry because we still can break down the low block. And that's a virtue of being a transition team. There is no space to run into. Now you can break down the low block. The second issue, the second game I'm bringing up is Fulham. When Fulham came to town last year, anybody remember? I think we beat them or we drew or something like that. But they were playing, they were baiting our press. They were patient. They wanted to build a certain way. They will bait our press. Senderberg get the ball, and boom, they gone. They were playing to our midfield, and we didn't. Not that we didn't deserve to win that game, but they exposed us in a certain way. And I remember we came on this stream and we said, "Oh, we start seeing some crack in this system." That is the same thing that Amorim team did today. They were patient and they baited our press. They play into an area where they want us to be, and then they switch the play. So my worry next year in the season is that a lot of Premier League team will use those two blueprints. The fact that we're not able to break down the low block and the fact that they can show patience and break our press. And that's not necessarily down to the instruction that Carey give. That's probably also down to the profile of players that we have on the pitch. Some of them, after a long period of time where we cannot sustain possession, they run in after the ball and they defending, they will lose their discipline, and the other team will play to us.
No, that's very good, Luan, right? Or on a different day, we press the way we press today, and Bruno scores the penalty instead of misses it, and it's a different story, right? That's what I'm trying to explain to you. This team, the way Carrick is playing, we have a large enough body of evidence, even during this preseason. We've seen the progression of the team from Wrexham through today. What's the difference today? The difference today is that we brought in a new contingent of players, our players too. We brought in some set of players that we're just seeing, some for the first time today, some for the second time, basically for more than 30 minutes. That's what happened today. That's the reason for the performance that we saw today. And I'm saying, even with that, considered, we still played decent enough, like in stretches of the game. And Amorim's football, like again, you can also take, I think, the emotional and the psychological aspect of things too. I think definitely there were reports of the United camp, being really motivated to win the game. I promise you, Amorim was as well. I don't think there's anybody on this planet Earth that's going to have a better night's sleep today than Amorim, for beating United. So I think I think it's very, very important that as a United fan base, the United players, the United camp in general, this match should be treated as exactly what it was, a preseason runabout, right? Now, Carrick has the enormous task of making the correct decision on who to start against Hull. That's the most important thing, because I like Tillmans, I like Bruno, I like Xerxes, I like all our players. I think we have horses for courses. I think there are games where you should play Doggo on the left. I think there are games where you should play Cunha. I think if we play Cunha as the number 9, I know going into that game that we surrender some of our pressing initiative. I know up front. So I'm looking for Carrick to figure out a way to sort that. I know that when we play Mbeumo up front, we get more pressing, right? But we lose something. I know when we play Sesko, we get a different type of, like, we have a squad, and we should use that squad. And so when you point out our weaknesses, sure, that's true, but we also have strengths, and there's such a thing as form. And so if Carrick is able to get, I think, a good run going, and to make the correct decision about our midfield choices, for the game against Hull, then we'll be fine.
Yeah, big up, Sean. I just want to ask the question. I think today we lacked when we bought the big players and experienced players. Now, if you remember, I warned about this last season. I told everybody and their fucking none. I told everybody and their none that this is going to be, next season's going to be a difficult season, because the players, it's the biggest World Cup ever in terms of amount of teams. It's the longest World Cup ever in terms of the time of duration. And that is going to eat up into the preseason. And that players we're going to be waiting for, they're not going to be ready. And I said Manchester United need to go and make 6 to 7 signings. Now they haven't done that. Where I agree with you, Luani, is that the players who have had the preseason, who've been training all season, have actually looked better in terms of the midfield dynamic. Like you're talking about Collier, Santos, we've seen. And we've seen, Xerxes has been playing decent. Lacey's been phenomenal for me. He had a fantastic preseason. And none of those played. We're bringing back the likes of Bruno, putting Tielemans in there, trying to play out from the back and doing some fake press. That is not going to work. I warned about this. Do you remember me talking about saying that this is going to be long if we don't get the signings in early so they can have a preseason? Do you remember me talking about this?
Yep.
Yeah, but we don't always need
Go
to be
ahead, Luan.
perfect now. Like handicaps are a part of life, are a fact of life. You don't always go into every circumstance fully planned, fully prepared with everything buttoned up, not in any aspect of anybody's life. It's okay to go into the season knowing that we have some shortcomings that we need to strengthen, some areas we need to improve on. I think that's a fact. I think that doesn't excuse Luke Shaw running up fronts at age 33 and leaving his wing exposed, not being able to run back, right? I think that is an excuse Carrick being naive to play Tielemans in midfield so that when his wing back, runs up front, there's nobody to cover that space. I think that there's weaknesses in the team for sure. I just think that like there are holes that can be plugged. And it's up to Carrick basically to make the right choices. That playing out of the back stuff and playing with Tillemans, it only works if Tillemans has enough space to run from where he is in the deep to the opposing half to press a player. Um, Kobe Mino isn't that fast either, but I think Kobe Mino is a bit more mobile.
Do you not think we need mobile, dynamic player who's a ball carrier who can get us up
Yes,
the pitch? Do you not think
yes,
we
we
need
do.
somebody to win the ball
If
back and
if
to get
if
us playing again?
if this was Football Manager and I could control it, I would go and sign Baleba. Like I would literally go and sign Baleba, right? Because that to me is
Football
the
manager.
person.
What are you
I
talking
would
about?
press the button if I could. You're asking me what I would do in an ideal world, right? Yes, I would get Baleba. I would sign one more midfield. I DM. I would sign a left back as well, and I'll probably go and look for a striker, to complement the team, that we have because I don't think Joshua Zirkzee is a striker. I think he's truly a number 10, or a 9.5 as he likes to call himself. So I agree with you that we need legs in midfield. I think, you know, in the game at home against Hull later on in the season when Tillemans is fitter, yes, maybe Tillemans could play. I think Old Trafford against Hull, against Ipswich, I think yeah, we could probably play Tillemans in midfield, and anybody else because we're expected to have possession. But I think more often than not, it should be Santos and Kobe in midfield. I think Kobe is a lot more mobile than Tillemans, and that's not saying much for how mobile Kobe is. Um, yeah.
Go ahead, Luani.
Yeah, Sean, I agree with you. We need leg in the midfield. I just don't think it will solve our problem in large because I believe that we need ball retention. And if we get leg in the midfield, it just will give us another option of how to progress the ball without passing it. Maybe we'll get a ball carrier like Baleba, that will work, but it still not will not solve our retention problem. Now, when I look at the game today, the things I saw, the reason I disagree with you that it's just one of those losses we can just chalk it and continue is because of the team that we play is not even we are superior to this team. You don't recognize a lot of name in that team, but they were real. They did what they did, but they beat us convincingly in terms of the amount of saves that you see our keeper do today. And if it was not the fact of Chukwueze and Cisse, they were pretty sloppy with some possession in the area that they have it. We could have been talking about 7-7 today. And every time we are ahead in a game, we score first. And we end up losing that game, end up scratching my head a lot because that means that there's something fundamentally wrong. Because once you are ahead, you have the psychological advantage. The other team will drop off a bit naturally, or they will try to attack you. And since we have our first team in today, and our first team is transition specialist, we're supposed to punish them. Basically, they took the bait, they playing our game now, but we couldn't even do that. AC Milan
We couldn't.
come
And that's the
we
biggest
couldn't
thing
do
because
that. That's the worry.
we couldn't
That's the
string one or
worry.
two passes together. We
That's
have
exactly.
35 fucking percent possession. The performance matters a week before the fucking season. People need to stop gaslighting me and telling me not to be fucking worried.
They calm down. They calm the game down, even with 1-0 down. And they bait us into situation that they want. I don't have any issue with carry system if you want to commit numbers forward. But like I said, what's your plan B? Normally, when you want to play a certain type of football, your plan B is always to go long, right? So if we go long, that's not a 50-50. That's advantage defenders because they're facing the ball they're heading it the other way. Your strikers or your wingers are back to go. So advantage defender. But if that ball gets knocked by the defender, if the defender win the duel and that ball fall back into the midfield, your wingers that talking, your number 10, your most advanced DM, that's four midfielder, will have to compete against the other team in that midfield for the ball. That's a 50-50. Now, I'll take that bet if you tell me that if we win that 50-50, everybody, the quartet that we have surrounding the ball, are ball retention players. At that point, we can start popping it
Okay,
in enough time
let's talk
and
about the
allow
quartet now, right?
our mhm.
Luan, let's talk about the quartet that we had today. The quartet of Maguire, who has been playing for some time, Martinez, who was seen for the first time this preseason, Tillemans, who is starting for the first time this preseason, playing with Martinez and Maguire that he barely knows, just playing together for the first time with, playing next to Santos, who is playing with for the first time, eventually Kobe Mino, who is also playing with for the first time, playing next to Bruno, right, who playing with for the first time also. So you have five players who are just coming back, right? This is the first match that they're playing in preseason. Five players who are in this quartet or spine that you're talking about, right? And I'm saying what happened today, right? The way I would choose to frame it. And I wouldn't think about it as gaslighting because we lost against Wrexham as well, right? We lost against Wrexham and you wouldn't take that performance to be positive. So, the quartet that played today, that quartet is just resuming work, right? They're just coming back from holiday. Bruno was just in Portugal drinking margaritas, basically, right? Same thing for everybody else. So I'm not gonna let you guys, make it seem like there's any gaslighting going on. People are not. I'm not saying at least that performance doesn't matter. I'm saying that the performance was poor. Yes. I'm saying that there are risks in Carrick's football. Also true. I'm saying that there are I'm confused about the choices in midfield as well, right? I'm willing to acknowledge that. But I think the team is in a good place and we have a good opportunity to get 3 points at the end of the week. That for me, is not out of the question. The way you guys are making it seem like all hell is breaking loose. I'm focused on 3 points at the end of next week. And I don't see anything that I saw today and that I saw over the last 2 weeks that tells me that we can't get 3 points. Like that for me is the thing that would make me, disappointed or not.
Sean, I don't disagree. I'm not saying that we have a bad team. We have a good team, or we have a team good enough to compete again next year. My issue is the decisions that the manager have to make. If you're talking about the quartet today of Maguire, that's the issue with taking, like, looking at the players individually and what Lisandro couldn't do today. When that ball went over the top, he got into that full race that he couldn't win. Yes, we can look at Lisandro that way, but that ball got into the middle before getting to that area. So when I'm looking, I don't like to look at the individual players, but the fact that what I'm trying to say is they were AC Milan was playing us off the park before Lisandro even coming into the play. So the the combination that start today is what I'm looking at versus the it's not even the defense that's the issue for me, because if your midfield is not exposed, your defense will not be stretched at all. You have to have a certain level of control. And you know what? You are fair in your assessment, and let's just agree to disagree. But next week, with the run of game that we have, we will know how exactly this thing is going to pan out. My concern is that a lot of Premier League team will play us the way AC Milan play us today versus the way Paris Saint Germain played us. I know we took that Paris Saint Germain game as a benchmark, but it's different football. Premier League football is the same, is what we saw today. The reason why we didn't win against Wrexham
No, but
is
Luani,
we might not be ready. It could be the fact that we might not, that was
are you
our
are you
first
saying
game.
6 points? Are you saying 6 points against Hull and Ipswich is at stake? Because for me, that's simply unacceptable. I don't see any configuration or fitness or preseason or transfer window issue that should prevent Carrick and what's their name of the staff basically from getting 6 points. And I'm thinking that like other Premier League teams, by the time we get into the season, the players that are just coming back will be fit enough, right? And the team will have gotten over because 3 points is what we're talking about now, right?
Mhm.
We're not talking about world domination here. We're talking about 3 points. 3 points one weekend after another. And like, who are these Premier League teams? Let them come. We can play football too.
I have to admire your positivity. You know, I'm not saying 3 points at stake. I'm saying that our season overall could be at stake because our ambition, we've raised our ambition from
You
last year.
basically, Sean, you basically said to me, life is a struggle, blah, blah, blah. But when you're instituted in an organization like Manchester United and you know what's coming, you better be prepared. Those who prepare, especially sport organizations, sport structures, those who prepare for every eventuality and understanding how this season was going to be and how late the players were going to come back, how they were giving 3 weeks after the World Cup ended, especially people who got to the later stages. You should have had the players in play already.
Carrick has the players to get at least 12 points from his opening 4 fixtures. He has the tools. He has the players, and so like that's where I'm coming from. Like, we're not playing
Where's
City.
Sesko? Where is the? Explain something to me. Who's running the channels today? Who's holding up the ball? Who? We need to play this gimmick of playing Cunha. Cunha is not a striker. Mbeumo's not a striker. They are goal scorers, but they're not central strikers.
100%.
They're not a vocal point that you can play up, that you can play the ball to, that can hold up the ball, that can run the channels, can give that breather so the team to step
Guess what,
up,
Newlin?
the team to get into positions
Guess
so
what?
that we know what's going to happen
I
if the
agree
ball
with you.
comes back. We need these things. Sesko's been out for 3 months. He's not kicked the fucking ball in 3 months since May. Now you keep telling me we're ready. It's a fucking joke, bro.
I'm saying we're ready to get 12 points from our opening 4 fixtures. And I'm saying by the time we do that, Sesko should be back by then. I think that's okay to plan. I think if you spent 60 however million you spent last year, I think it's okay to look at your pockets, right? A year later and say, maybe I don't want to spend another lump sum of money. I have other investments to make. And say, I'll wait for my striker to come back. Can I survive the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks without this guy? Yes, I can. And that's what I'm saying. There's absolutely no reason why either Mbuemo or Cunha or Xerxes, between the three of them, we cannot get 3 points with a striker up front against Hull. Like that's what I'm thinking about. That's how I'm looking at it. I'm not saying Cunha is a striker. He's not. Neither is Mbuemo. They're not an ideal striker. They're not the person we should build around. That's Sesko. Sesko is our guy. He's the one to lead the line. But we have to start the season with the players that we have. We have, luckily for us, we have a decent on paper run of fixtures to start the season with. And we have a manager who, if he's worth anything, right? And obviously, Carrick in, Carrick out. If you raise Carrick or not, this is going to be your opportunity to
Do you think
to
they've
get.
backed Carrick? Do you think the Ineos and the Glazers have backed Carrick?
I don't think they
So
have
now
backed.
you're turning it on Carrick
No,
now. So
no,
it's all on Carrick.
no,
When we
but
know that
no, but
this team
what are we
cannot do
talking
2
about
games a
now?
week. 2 games a
What are we
week.
talking
Is it
about?
a coincidence, Sean? Is it a coincidence that we played Wednesday, then we played Saturday, and we turn out like that 35% possession for a team in Italy who are getting used to a new system and they bopped us off the park today?
I think we lost Casemiro, right? A very important player. But I think this squad that we have right now is a lot more robust than the squad
So
we
we
had.
wanted Casemiro at that age, who's absolutely legs have gone.
No,
That's
I'm just
exactly
I'm
that's
just speaking about
that's
I'm just speaking
exactly
about
where the worry. That's exactly where the worry is. The worry is that this team is better than the team we had last year, so we didn't have any reason to lose the way we lost the game today. It could have been 7.
I just
Our
gave you a
keeper
few
made
reasons now, Luani.
yeah.
Lamin's
I
made
just
about
gave you a few
5, 6
reasons.
saves.
I just gave you a few reasons. My contention is that this team that started today and a lot of the players that play today are players that, one, were seeing for the first time, two, I just play with each other for the first time, right? So there was, the growing pains of being there together like that. Thirdly, this is Amorim, this is AC Milan coming very motivated, coming on the back of having never won, they haven't won any preseason game basically. This is their fourth game, right? So they have built up a whole run of fitness, playing against a team whose spine effectively is a bunch of players that are just starting, right? So if you would not let me declare victory and world dominance based on the performance against PSG, you cannot now declare doom and gloom right now because of this performance against AC Milan. You have to allow for the fact that Tillemans is just coming back, Bruno is
We
just
got.
coming back.
You see the goal that the PSG scored? It was by their kids, their C team, and they bopped us off the press and scored a fantastic good goal. What are we doing here, Sean?
No, I mean, are you saying we should never ever concede a goal, or every goal
No,
we
but the
or
way
every
we
goal we
conceded the
concede,
goal, the
or
way
every
we
goal we
conceded the
concede
goal,
should be a world
the way we
should be a
conceded the
worldie?
goal, we got flat open because we don't have the fucking midfielders that can chase people, that can hold the ball back and help us and put the
Guess
fire
what?
out
Guess
before
what?
even the fire starts.
We're going to concede
What are
more
we doing
goals.
here?
We're going to concede more goals. Like it is a thing that happens in football. You concede goals of all kinds and shapes and sizes, right?
I'm talking about
Some have
Sean, stop the gaslighting. I'm talking about specifically the way they scored the goal, the holes that we saw. Yet again today, we saw the same
there's
holes
similarities.
again. Yes,
There's
no
similarities.
we saw the same holes again.
no, but
What I'm trying,
again, this is
I
another kind
don't
of
know what
thing.
wax is in your ears, bro.
No,
Seriously,
but
the fact that Manchester United are not ready
the
week
problem is the
before the
style of
season starts,
conversation.
and
The
that we
problem is
look
the
all
style of
over the place.
conversation, right?
We look
You
all
can't
over the place in midfield. We don't know
you
what's our
can't hear
best
when I'm
combination.
agreeing with you. You
What are
can't
we
hear when
doing
somebody's
here?
agreeing with you and how to progress the conversation. So I'm not disagreeing that the team has weaknesses. I said I think a couple of minutes ago that there are problems in United spine. These are long-term problems. These are not problems that started with Carrick. This is the story of Manchester United post Fergie, a soft underbelly, right? A lack of a midfielder with legs. It's not news. So that's why I'm not gonna like you want us to just come reciting and recanting the same things. If we're having a
No,
conversation,
I'm trying to say to you, can you not see with your eyes the deficiencies, and how come you're
I
not worried about the
I can
season
see
starting next
no,
next
but
week?
that's what I'm saying. We're going around and around. I can see. I'm acknowledging the deficiencies, right? And I'm moving on the conversation from there. I'm acknowledging the deficiencies, and I'm saying
Fair, fair enough.
the way I
Fair
think
enough.
about it is these
Fair enough.
deficiencies can be managed in A B C D way, right? And there's also X Y Z for us to look at, and to think about as well. So Hall very well could surprise us. And it is Manchester United, right? I don't know if we deserve
They're
good
not ready
things.
either. You know what, Sean? Luckily for us, they're not ready either.
No,
They've got certain injuries. They've got
it's
quite
Sean,
Manchester
young
United, right?
players.
We
Sean,
don't deserve good things, and anything could happen. We are the biggest club in the world. People are going to watch our game. We could lose the game. It's going to be drama. The news, the dogs will come out. Oh, Rashford, can he survive? I can totally see a frenzy. I can see it. Yeah, sure.
Sean, my question to you, you say in what way can this deficiency be managed? We just play our last game of the season.
Yeah. So I mean, for example, we could play. What's his name? Santos and Mino in midfield instead of Santos and Tielemans. I think, like I said, that it's not saying anything for Mino's mobility to say that he has more mobility than Tielemans, but I think he does.
I
The same thing
agree. No,
goes for
I actually agree to that. I agree with you.
Yeah, but
yeah.
those tweak that you're talking about, the preseason is for that. Now preseason is over. You pitching us up against Premier League opposition, and you say we will not have any issue taking 4 points, 12 point out of 4 game, and with there, you think that we can do that while making this kind of adjustment?
Yes, we can. Definitely we can. Because like Nuruddin mentioned, right, Hall is also going through their own evolution, right? And the United team does have quality, right? We have quality, and quality can be the difference, right? In a game, again, let me establish some ground rules. I am perfectly fine with winning a match when I don't play well, when the team doesn't play well. I'm not like you guys who needs to, play well for you to feel happy about the win. I don't care about that, right? So the most important thing for us against Hull is to win the game. And I think
Fair
we
enough.
have the tools, we have the players to win. It doesn't matter if Hull have moments where they bop, because they are a team and they're enterprising and they are home, so they might have 5 minutes here and there where they look,
No,
exciting.
listen,
Oh, well and good.
listen, game is between two teams. There's going to be times when they're on
Exactly.
top. I'm not looking for the perfect. What I'm looking for is Manchester United on off the ball. Did we do enough to win? The performance mattered to me, Sean, because performance is what gives you a gauge about what type of squad, what type of coach, what type of a team you have. Getting results can only take you so far before you get found out. You could do a robbery, a stick-up job on any team. We remember that. When we were doing that on Ten Hag, and then he got found out. We was
Yes,
doing that on the Oli, and he got
I'm
found out.
you
Go
guys are
ahead,
I'm
being
just a
overly
bit
harsh about the
surprised.
performance.
No, I'm just a bit surprised because it always seems like we go from one extreme to the other. We cannot performance and result is not necessarily something we can do the trade-off. We can have the balance. I'm just asking for consistency. We have 3 games a season, and it's going to 3 games in a week probably, and it's going to be 3 high-quality games. You flinch, you're out of the competition. You flinch, you're out of the Champions League. You fall behind in the Premier League, you might not get the momentum to catch up with the rest of the pack. My question, did we prepare enough to establish a certain level of consistency that can take us through the season on good results? So at the end, whatever our expectation is, I know that we didn't plan finish outside the top 4, but a lot of teams in the Premier League have improved. Anybody can easily bump us out of our position
So have
this
we.
year.
Big up to Jarvis, by the way. Let me just get this. Big up Jarvis. I hope you had a lovely holiday. I hope you are still having a lovely time with the family in Crete. I don't know if you're back yet, but yeah, big up and love, bro. I hope you're well. If Tillemans is limited defensively, I'm worried. We moved from Casemiro, Ericsson, Ugarte, Bruno at 8. Have we really signed another midfielder we need to accommodate? That's mad. 100%. 100%. I said it. I talked about it. I talked to you, Jarvis, about it, and I told the fucking whole world. Tillemans, it was about, because he's with a fantastic coach, Unai Emery is, clever coach, understands the player profile, and understands it's about the complementing each other. You would always have to play next to Unana because Unana can get about the pitch, or Kamara. You know what I mean? You always matched him, and he also protected him to get the best out of him. It is what it is, people.
I think there's room for
Manchester
Tillemans in the
United can
squad.
sign, if they wanted to, would sign players who've got athleticism, dynamicism, are good on the ball, on and off the ball, who are very good on the ball and off the ball. But they didn't want to do that. Go ahead, Sean.
I think there's room for Tillemans in the squad. I think it's a long season, like you guys said, with lots of football to play. That's part of what's giving me confidence, right? And what I'm asking of
Do you
Carrick
think we
is,
could play 3 games a week? Do you think we can
yes,
cope with that?
yes, I think we can, and I think if Carrick is a mental patient like Ten Hag or Arteta, right, or any of these coaches that we've had in the past, and chooses to play the exact same 10 or 11 players every single game, then he's going to crash and burn for sure. Because whenever he needs somebody else to step up, right? One, they're not going to be happy mentally. They're not going to be in a state of mind. Secondly, you're not going to have the physical capacity to keep up. So what you need to do is be more like the clubs of the world. And I take my Arteta slander back. Arteta, one of the things that made me respect Arteta a lot was the way he managed Trossard and Martinelli. On a given day, you never know who's going to start either one of them. It could be Trossard one day, it could be Martinelli, and he could bring either one of them up from the bench. Even in midfield, right? He's not afraid to shake it up, whether it's or defense, Hincapi or what's his good name, Calafiori. You need to be able to play and switch out players. He does the same thing up front with Havertz and Gyökeres. Depending on the game, you need to be able to manage a squad with big players who you can drop sometimes. So if Carrick is again a blockhead like Solskjaer or Ten Hag and chooses to play the exact same 10 or 11 players every single game, we're going to lose. he needs to use the squad. He needs to remember what it was like when he was a United player. Where one day he'll be playing next to Scholes, the other day he'll be playing next to Giggs, the next day he'll be playing next to Gibson, and it didn't matter if we were going to San Siro or just down the road to Fulham. You wore the shirt, so you stepped up. That's what it needs to be. I need to see Shea Lacey in Premier League games or in FA Cup
Yeah.
games because Lacey is a baller and deserves to play.
Let me ask you this question: do you think we will see Bruno being out of the team? Do you think he's got the kahunas enough to be able to put Bruno on the bench till his fitness at least comes up?
No, I mean, I think the places where I want to see that happen is in the early FA Cup games. The early FA Cup, Carabao Cup. If we lose, doesn't matter. But I need to see Bruno in the stands in those games. Those are the games where for sure you need to establish the precedent that the other players that are in the squad are earning a salary too. You guys are not here to just watch Bruno play. You earn a paycheck, and so on an FA Cup night, I don't need to see Bruno Fernandes. Like there's no need for Bruno to be every day Bruno. Premier League can be Bruno, but FA Cup, the odd Champions League game, if we're traveling to Turkey, Trabzonspor, play somebody else. It's fine. Like that's the way I look at it.
I agree with you. Rotation is
Yeah,
very
100%.
critical.
We need that. And
But
for that, we
the
need to sign 6 players, Luwani. We needed the 6 fucking players. We needed the 3 midfielders, the 2 fullback carriers. We needed the to me 2 centre backs, but I'll take 1 centre back that's quick, that's pacey. I would have took it this summer. And then if Xerxes goes, we need another striker. So it would have been 7 then.
No, I agree with the rotation thing is important, but I don't even think it will matter because I think our starting core is not good enough. Right now, our starting core is Harry Maguire, Andre Santos, Bruno Fernandes, and Mbomo. I don't think the starting core is good enough. No matter how you rotate the players around them.
Yeah, we don't disagree about that, man. Like, I mean, nothing to say. I raise Bruno. I think Maguire and Martinez are a good pair. They need a left back that inspires them. Not old man Luke Shaw. There is a place for old man Luke Shaw for sure, but he shouldn't be the one starting. They also need a sharp young killer, destroyer. Not Santos. Santos thinks of himself as a destroyer. He can do that work, but he's truly a passer at heart. We need a stone cold killer. That's why I want Baleba. We need somebody who just wants to eat ground, whether that's running to his post or running to the other post. And that's what the club needs to go for.
Let me just show you this. Look at this. This was against that defeat against Brentford. Do you
I mean,
think
re-
Man
re-
City have the same? Do you think
replace Fred and Ericsson with Tillemans and Santos now, and you have the
exactly?
exact same team.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look at
And the
this.
reason I'm saying that I think our starting core is not good enough. If you look at Maguire, Carrick is trying to split his centre back to progress the ball. Maguire moved to the right split. How can he progress the ball if he's not much of a ball carrier? I know he did well during the PSG game, but I don't see Maguire carrying the ball and being pressed and not launching it forward. That's gone. Now, Andre Santos, yeah, he can progress the ball, but if his man mark out the game like he did today, option are nullified. And then you move to Bruno. Bruno is a 10 that does not want to play in a 10 position. His idea of playing in a 10 is essentially vacating that mid that spine and going and look for space on the wings. And even when he go look for space in the wing on the wings, he drop so much down into the channel, the same channel that the wingers are supposed to drop to. I mean, your Dogu or your Amad Diallo are supposed to be in those channels when they either doubling up trying to defend or when they either helping trying to progress the ball. But Bruno is in those channels. I'm not saying he's just the problem. And then you go to Mbomo. Mbomo is not a striker. You get the ball to him, unless he's over the shoulder running to a goal, he's not gonna keep that ball in that feet. His first touch is elusive. Our call is not good enough.
And Cunha likes to come deep to pick up the ball. He gets bored up there. He gets really bored up there. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. That gave me the chills. Santos and Tillemans versus Fred Eriksson. Oh no. Yeah.
Now you can go
Yes,
this way.
Elvis, I did.
You can
I
say you
did.
can say that. Why do I say that we have a good team, but we don't have a good core? It just depends on the manager and his staff. They know how they're trying to play football, but I just don't know if they will have the cojones to play the players that they need in order to show us exactly what the system is about.
Yeah, I mean, see, look, Dorgo on the left, we shitted on him, but Dorgo is a very good player, I think. I think he looks like two men in one. He's like the Baleba of the left wing. I think he's a really powerful, really strong, really physical player that takes up a lot of space, and I'm sure he's a nightmare to play against. So I like him on the left. Ahmad on the right is a pressing monster as well. And he's also a very good player technically on the ball. We need to figure out who we put in between them. I think for now it should be Mbuemo. When Sesko comes back, it's Sesko. Depending on who we play against, I don't mind if it's Cunha. In midfield, Santos to me starts for sure, hands down. Next to him, I would play Kobe Mino. And in front of them, I would play Bruno. That would be my ideal trio. I think Tillemans is there for when we're at home against Ipswich second half of the season, or when we're playing in the FA Cup or something, or if we need him and Emmanuel is injured. In defense, I would go with Maguire and then Euro. I think Maguire is Maguire. Euro looks much sharper than Heaven in preseason. I would play with Mazraoui on the right and Luke Shaw on the left, and that team I think for sure should be able to beat Hall.
You know, I hate the idea of Dogu as a left winger. If essentially I'm playing him up there, he's going to play as a wing back. You're not going a lot past the midfield line. You stay on that line over there. Don't ever come inside as a midfielder because you can't do midfielder thing. At that point, yes, Luke Shaw might have to invert. That is fine. That can work. But I don't think Dogu coming inside with Luke Shaw not wanting to go all the way up help us at all because now you have congestion over there with Dogu in there, Luke Shaw in there, not wanting to go up, and then Bruno dropping that channel too. And then you have your one of your DM that also go there. Just too many congestion over too many players of ours with them, maybe half of them not having the intricacy to do touch and go one or to do the little pass in the intricate game in order to even switch it to the other side. If we're able to keep it long enough with that number to bring in team in that area, we don't have the players to be able. Bruno can do that. Bruno can definitely do the switch of play. He doesn't have the intricacy to get out of a jam in the traffic.
He doesn't need the intricacy to get out of a jam in the traffic,
And
right?
then, by the way, did you see the way that he was
that's
pressed
not
today?
that's not
Did
who
you
Bruno
see that
Fernandes
any
is.
time in the central areas? Did you see the line? Any time in the central areas, they tried to pick up their head, bam, and the Milan player was on them. Tillemans,
You guys be
Kobe.
penalizing.
I mean, even Kobe, like it's his first game. Obviously, he's not played for 2 months. He's not even played for England, so I'm not going to be too harsh on him. But we struggled, and I couldn't understand and see when you have not got the ball, when you got two ball playing midfielders, they're just useless. Absolutely useless. There's no point them being on the pitch because you haven't got somebody to win the ball back. And then you've got
But in that case,
Luke Shaw and
it's supposed to be your centre
who
backs.
should not be at this football club.
It's
How many
supposed to be your
times do I have
centre
to say
backs,
that?
Nuruddin, that are
Luke
supposed to
Shaw
step
and
up.
Maguire should not be at this football club.
Well, I mean, look, guys, I have to drop off also pretty soon. But what I would say is that, like, lastly, to close us out for me, um, there's a lot of quality in this squad. I think the way the season is going to go, right? There's going to be lots of complaining about the way we play in certain moments. I think this dynamic is going to continue. Um, and everybody started the season on a clean slate, right? I think the good vibes that we had last season, all that is gone. I'm especially worried about Rashford. I want to plant my flag now, right now. I'm worried about Rashford. I don't, I don't really see how we're going to make the whole thing work. But I'm optimistic. But for the rest of the team, nah. I think Carrick, he would show us early on what kind of character he is as a decision maker, right? Because I think that's ultimately was going to make or break him. So squad quality for me is there. The question is, do we have the manager, do we have the coach that can make the right decision and pick the correct starting 11 for today? Because Monday starting 11 can be different from Tuesday starting 11, can be different from Wednesdays, and you need a good manager who knows who has the wisdom to see the difference between the type of game and pick the players that a game needs. Show me something like Fergie against Barcelona playing Tevez in midfield, right? Show me something like that. Show me something like converting Ryan Giggs to a midfielder towards the end of his career. Right. Show me something creative, basically, with your squad. It's not every day you have to be. That's what I'm saying to you, Luani. I don't need Bruno to be a different player. Bruno can be Bruno. Bruno has his strengths. Bruno has his weaknesses. What Carrick needs to do is pick the days where Bruno's strengths can shine and take Bruno out of the squad when it's not the game for Bruno. That's what I need Carrick to do. That's all I'm asking for.
Carrick's not doing that, by the way. He's not taking him out.
Yeah,
Carrick's not
yeah.
doing it. I'll be shocked.
Sean say that you need a manager to have the wisdom to pick
He's an
the type of
experience
thing
at this level.
based on
He's an
based on the
experience at
game.
this level. He's learning on the
Based-
job.
No, like
That
if
Carrick's
the-
it's not. He has not the experience managing in the Premier League, like in terms of being full-time coach, not an interim.
no, my thing is that if you are a possession coach or you want to be a possession coach, then your plan A should be good enough to beat any team, regardless of what they have to offer that day, because you're not going to give them the ball, right? You want to keep the ball so you can execute. So
We are not a possession team.
like,
We are not
that's what he's
Barcelona.
trying to do. That's what he's trying to do, right?
No, Luani, no. I don't think so. I think we want to be. He wants to have this kick and eat it, right? And I think his way of doing that is by trying the mid block stuff, right? He doesn't want to be Klopp. He doesn't want to be Mourinho. He wants to choke basically the middle, right? And he relies on players like Ahmad and that mid block, mid pressing style to do
And
it.
Dorgu,
And Dorgu, yeah.
To almost kind of squeeze the gaps so
Yeah.
that they're coming in. They're white guys, but they're coming in to help out the midfield.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, exactly. And so we're going to play in that mode a lot, and we look to hit people on the counter. We're not a possession team. We're an intense. He wants to play exciting football, which means there's going to be 3-2 games, right? It's going to
I
be.
want that. I want that football.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want that football.
I do too.
I'd rather have that than winning 1-0 and being stinking out the place.
I do too. But I think that comes with vulnerabilities, right?
But
I think
that's why the Ineos have to and Glazers have to fucking get their fingers out and go and help the guy that they gave the job to.
yeah, I agree. Anyway, big up, guys. I think
Big up.
I
Listen,
can't wait
Sean,
for the season starts.
Listen, we'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah,
Inshallah. We'll see you next Saturday.
I mean,
And you know what? I hope we're all here happy with 3 points.
I mean, it's
By the
a
way,
bit like
I'm doing a preview on Thursday. If you're around, actually, I'm gonna do it on Friday. I'm gonna do the preview on Friday. So if you're around, actually maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, just send the link now.
I'll send
if I'm
it.
around, I can.
I'm doing a bit of research on them. Actually, it's very interesting team. Just tell
Yeah.
you before you drop off.
No.
They just about got into the playoff last season. They weren't the top flyers in that league by any chance. They could have easily been the other way. They could have been relegated. They could have been. So they're that type of team.
I'm 100% with Sean. Like in terms of the positivity, and we all want our team to win and watch good football. It's just when you're trying to achieve consistency in the season, you rely a lot on preparation. And when I look at our preparation between the signing that we didn't get, or the first teamer arriving late, and the last game we just played, it just don't smell to me as
No,
consistency
we're
is
not
gonna
ready.
be coming our way anytime soon. And when if we're going to rely on sheer quality and grit only to have a good season, I think that we already spent that card last season on the run that we did. A lot of adjustment will be made by the opposing manager, the opposing team, and a lot of team improve as well. So it's just not a
Yeah,
winning formula for me.
my unifying theory of everything, and I guess this is the final word. Unifying theory of everything is it all comes down to will Carrick play the people that he's supposed to play, or would he play the big names?
I think
That
he's going to
that's
play the big names, Sean. I'm
that's
not
the
going to lie to
question.
you.
I
I
think
think
ultimately
I think he's going to play the big names, and I
that's
think
what it
some of the
comes
big
down to.
names are not here. They're not. He's he, they've already been squeezed too much, and like somebody said earlier, they've already been part of a lot of the failures. I still don't believe Rashford is going to be here to learn. I think Rashford is going to go. I
I
still
hope so
believe that.
too. Yeah.
I still believe that. I think the British media have done enough already to try to stoke up stuff, and people are already blaming him, even though it's his first minutes in the past, since the World Cup
Yeah, but
ended.
you can't lie. He doesn't press for shit. Like
Yes, but that's
he
what we've got.
it's just
Then
and I don't want to go through that again. I don't want to go through having to watch Twitter clips of Rashford. Oh, see Rashford. Look at how they walked past him. Look at how I don't want to. I don't want to do that
wait,
anymore.
if Rashford is gonna go, then the ball is shagging. They're shagging Carrick then, because why is a player that's prone to leave being starting on the last game of the preseason? Doesn't make any sense.
Well, he did start now. He came on.
Sorry, even the fact that he's featured. So sorry.
Same thing goes for Xerxes now, right? Well, the rumor has it, and it seems like pretty
He's
public
gonna go,
knowledge
yeah.
that he's gonna go, right? So, I mean, I definitely want Rashford to leave. I think we already have Cunha and Dogo on the left, so I'm okay with that. I like Rashford. I would love to support Rashford from far. I want to support him in another team's colors. I don't want him in my team. I don't have to deal with that.
You know.
Big up,
Yeah.
guys.
Should we be worried, Luani?
Uh, on what I've seen today, yes, because we tend to compare games, and every time we play, the two time we play Premier League opposition, I think the Leeds game um, also shows some glaring deficiency in our team. The first game of the season also, like you could tell the press was on point, and we have issue with that as well. So I won't say that we're ready for the season. Yes, we do have some quality, and hopefully we can get on the run. Like Sean said, we can get on a run of accumulating a few points against the easiest team, so that we get on a momentum. That's my prayer. We get on a momentum. Hey, maybe we can do good things. Other than that, I think the preparation is just gonna determine eventually how our season goes.
Yeah, yeah. Big up, bro.
Big
I
up,
appreciate you and love.
big up.
Listen, I want to big up everybody. The last thing I would just say for me, there were holes in today's performance, and incredible holes. Defensively, we were absolutely all over the place. Like I said, just to summarize, we made McQuazy look, Chukwueze, sorry, not McQuazy, Chukwueze. We made him look like prime Messi. He was effective running, creating, linking up play. Well, our defenders were backing off. We left gaps between the defense and the midfield. We struggled marking the space. Easy crosses, cutbacks leading to tap-ins, headers, like Cisse Ramos. They could have, obviously, honestly, Loftus-Cheek looked like he was Thierry Henry running. He's not even that fast. But he made Martinez, obviously his first game back, to be fair to him. But honestly, he made Martinez look like he was so slow. He was unbelievable. But sure, I've been fighting, like I said, I've been fighting inside the stadium, coming to blows with fans, because I've been screaming at Luke Shaw, saying to him, can you get past the halfway line? get back in position quickly. I've been doing that for the past 7 years. I've got the t-shirt, I've had the fucking popcorn, I've had the arguments. So all you Johnny come latelys, I'm like, later. What the F have you been watching the last 7 years? What are you watching?
Clothing. His loyalty to his status will be tested. That's why I'm saying I don't think it will matter at this point who we bring in. I don't think it will matter how many players we bring in because he's not going to bench at least the core of that team. Maguire is not going to be benched. Santos, he stopped and he's deserved, right? Bruno is not going to be benched. Mbomo is not going to be benched. That's the core. And then you add the bit and pieces that are around them. Cunha, people like that. At least 7 starters are not going to be benched. And I don't see how we can achieve consistency. You can take the games that we played last year and then just look at them as 3 points that we accumulated to give us the round and end up in the Champions League. But you can still break them down individually and look at them game by game. Game that could have gone the other way. I remember a few of them. The Fulham game, Marco Silva came in, the players of the park, played to our press every time, but I think they couldn't get a result. And then they were the warning sign are there, and there's two things that we couldn't deal with.
Let's go game for game now, Luani. Warning sign for positive sign. Let's go game for game. You bring up a game where there was a warning sign. I'll bring up a game where there was a positive sign. We'll see how many games kind of move.
You're going to win because we accumulated a lot of points.
Okay.
But we play a lot of big teams and we got our hype from that. When those big teams, Arsenal, Liverpool, City, we essentially hit them in transition. And only God knows if transition ball will help us achieve consistency. We've been there before, We've been there with Ole, we've been there with Ten Hag, we've been there with Amorim. And now we talking about using the same route again. I don't know, man. I don't know.
Please, Yallah, help me.
Pick up, guys.
Big up.
Yeah.
Help me. Big up to Ty's time and space continuum. Did you see Modric? Modric is one of the best players, best midfielders the world has ever seen.
Incredible.
You don't need pace. You don't need speed. So he never needed a speed. He never needed pace. Move the ball and let's do.
Incredible.
They
were even controlling the ball.
Through us. No, by the time Modric came on, the game was already done.
Controlling the ball. Yeah.
What are we doing here? Control. You think Shaw is the problem? Yes. 7 years.
I swear to God, I thought that the Pavlovich guy, their centre back, I thought he was a midfielder today.
Yeah, because the way that
because he was everywhere.
Yes, he was going into the spaces. Yeah. That's what I'm saying to you, bro. Borussia, you would have thought that we bought someone like that, and I said he was never that guy. He was never that. Maguire was never that guy. It was a great hype. I said it. It's on Saeed TV. I said Maguire is not that guy. Do not go anywhere near him. Ugh.
The reason why most of the team in the Premier League, like the team like Forest and the team like Fulham, do well, and they have a certain level of consistency. When that ball when they go route one, and their defenders knock the ball back into the midfield, they have some steel in there to win. They are 50-50. They have the Sunderberg, and they have
Lugovic. They had the Lugovic.
Yeah, they have big men in there. They are physical people to win that 50-50, and then they can go back on the front foot. So they don't mind if they press you and you go long at all. They don't, because they'll get that ball back in the midfield, and then they'll start playing from there. So, but it just for us, if we don't, I know Ahmad, I know Lacey, I know Dogu are not the tallest if they're talking. If we go long, but at least if they manage to get the ball into their feet, hopefully, we can keep it long enough at least to execute. But I'm worried about Cunha. I'm worried about.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying don't play Bruno. I'm not saying that Bruno is a liability. I'm just saying that it's the combination between Bruno, Cunha, Dogu, Mbomo. That's a bit too much for us in terms of ball retention, and that's why we need to fix.
Yeah. Big up, my guy.
Big up, man.
Big up. Listen, I just want to say big up to Ben.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to Ben, for the signing to a new club. I hope we wish him all the best, and I hope he has a fantastic season this season. We'll be here to encourage him throughout all of it. I'm looking forward to the season, really, genuinely. I'm excited about the season because there's so many unknowns, and I get excited about the unknowns. We build a fantastic community. People, we need 7 more likes to get 200 likes, and I think the show deserved it. Hopefully, I'll be on the Mandem Talk this Thursday. Yeah, I need to challenge some of those points of views because my eyes don't lie to me. But yeah, we should be back hopefully with a video tomorrow, and then Tuesday it'll just be more build up and anything news breaks. Are you available on Tuesday night?
Yes.
To meet chat, Luwani, maybe me and Luwani. I'm gonna try to get Musa on hopefully. Musa to come and join us. But big up to every one of you people, and big up to Sean as well. We respect and love Sean for the different opinions. If we all sat here and agree with each other, it'll just be a dull show. The beauty of football is that everybody sees it differently. We can watch the same game and take totally different things from it. But today wasn't a good day for Manchester United. And I hope and pray by that time, Hull have not sorted out their problems. They still have been doing a bit of research on Hull for the match preview. Try to read up on them a little bit. And they still got a bit of problems. They still need players. They need to sign. And they're not as ready as, they're not as ready as what you would really think. But anybody can win. It's a game of football. But I hope Luan is right that we've got players with moments who can, moments of quality, take the game away from them. For me, pre-season's never about results. It's all about the performance and the ways that you want to play. It is what it is. But yeah, people, make sure the return of the Jarvis.
Nice.
The return of the Jarvis. He'll be back tomorrow at 9 o'clock. You should jump on Luwani if you're free tomorrow. If you're free
Where's
around that time.
Here?
Jarvis.
Oh, yeah. I'm home. I'm home too.
Yeah, Tactical Devils. Yeah, Jarvis. You need to send a link to Luwani. Yeah, I think it's the best Monday night show about Manchester United on YouTube. Facts. You need to tune into that. Stu, Jarvis will be breaking that down. And any news that happens. But people, like we always say, we sign off. Make sure, first of all, Ben, make sure you check him out, Elmo39 on X, Elmo20 on Twitch, Elmo20 on TikTok. Make sure you check out United Trucker, Malawan Luwani, 1979. Check him out on there. Make sure you check out Sean, at Sean Thomas on X. Make sure you check out his geopolitical podcast, How We See Things. Make sure you subscribe to Tactical Devils. Make sure you are live there for 9 o'clock. And those of you specifically watching on X, please move over to YouTube and get involved in that amazing community. Java, Stu, Mark, maybe Luwani will be on there chopping it up with them. So people, stay blessed. We hope and pray. We're living on a prayer again. We're halfway there. No, we're not halfway there, mate. We're not even began, but we're already living on a prayer.
I thought you would start with back to reality.
Back to life. Back to reality. Soul to soul, man. What do you know about British soul music? Back to life. Back to reality, boy. I want to clear that soundtrack out of my playlist I don't want to tell you about Bon Jovi anymore. We're halfway there. We're living on a prayer. I don't want to talk about. I want a completely brand new soundtrack for the new season. Get in the comments. Those of you watch this later, tell me what song sounds good.
There are deeper things happening in the background. When Toby Collier is sent on loan he's 22, have to be behind the pecking order of Meet the Fletchers. That's the diss track I'm writing. Meet the Fletchers. You know that somebody is throwing his way. It's not just their dad that's in the academy. Somebody else bigger. Sir Alex Ferguson is throwing his weight around somewhere. Come on, guys. Let's be real. No, let's be real.
Yeah.
Come
Listen,
on. It's not fair.
Big up to Mohammed. Mohammed, you said you didn't watch the game today. You didn't miss shit, bro. We were a horrendous performance. We kept getting opened up, especially in the second half. We got bopped. Free Palestine, Sudan, Congo, Syria, Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen. Free them all. Free the people. Free the land. R.I.P. R.I.P. to Jason.
Meet the Fletchers.
Yeah, we'll be checking that out. But Nuruddin, I'm fuming. Just joined, but isn't Euro playing when he's been the best defender of all preseason? Our most athletic centre back. Well, they don't want him, bro. They don't want him playing. So it is what it is. But listen, big up to everybody. Love and light. Thank you. Let me just check if we got 200 likes. Have we done it? We were 7 short. But yeah, Jarvis will be live tomorrow at 9 o'clock. Hopefully we'll be live with Luwani. Try to get Musa and some of the boys. Oh, we're 2 likes away. 2 likes away from 200. So the least you could do on your way out is like the video. Yeah, so make sure you check out Jarvis Corner tomorrow on Tactical Devils channel. Make sure you check it out there, people. 9 o'clock. Stu, Jarvis, Mark, Luwani. Hopefully we'll be on there. They'll all be live. Take care, people. Good night.
Take care.
Free the
Good
people,
night.
free the land. F the Zios, the military machine, and the imperialists and colonizers always. F them. F them. We hope they go to hell. Love, light. Take care, people. Good night.
Take care.